has its teeth. That tongue just cuts right...
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from a captured mermaid to evidence that humans and dinosaurs coexisted before their extinction. Ready? Let's jump in. Everyone knows meat, especially chicken, isn't magnetic, right?
Look at this shit. Put a magnet that I got from here.
Well, it looks like this one missed the memo. The lady you see on your screen picked up some chicken in the supermarket and for whatever reason decided to check out if it was magnetic. Once she did, however, the magnet stuck to the chicken and her interpretation was that it was magnetic. But how? Well, members of the platform where this was posted had some interesting takes. Some believed that the government was responsible for it. They believed it was something that had been intentionally orchestrated by them. One person even suggested that nanotech might be behind it. Others thought this clip had to be fake. There was also a belief that the person filming had a magnet hidden in the other part of a palm. When you think about it, that's a possibility since we don't see what's going on with the other palm. There were also some who thought this was nothing special. This user, for instance, thought the magnet was sticking because of the cold and not necessarily because there was a presence of a metal or magnetic substance. What do you think?
Look at that shit. Not falling.
This scene looks stunning, a beautiful arrangement of bright lights forming an arc over some oddly shaped clouds. It looks sparkly and pretty up there, but what exactly are we looking at? Some members of the paranormal community where this was shared say it's a rare astronomical phenomenon called an aurora, where charged particles from the sun collide with Earth's atmosphere, creating these mesmerizing light displays. Auroras, however, usually appear in polar regions and take on wavy curtain-like shapes rather than an arc. Some also suggested that this could be a display of atmospheric optics, where ice crystals in the upper atmosphere reflect and refract light, creating halos, arcs, and other dazzling patterns. And then there's the more mysterious angle. Could this be a UFO sighting? The unusual arrangement of lights and their brightness gives it an otherworldly look. What do you think is the most plausible explanation? Have you noticed how time doesn't seem to move like it used to, especially in 2024? The days feel like they're flying by. It's almost as if time itself is speeding up. Have you noticed it? If you have, what do you think might be causing this? The explanation many have adopted is that the Earth is actually spinning faster than it used to. The rotation of the Earth is what gives us day and night, and if that rotation speeds up, it could make our days feel shorter. Then again, if the Earth is spinning faster, what could be responsible? Some scientists suggest it might be due to changes in the Earth's core, melting glaciers, redistributing mass, or seismic activity. While this does make sense, there's another fascinating theory: the Large Hadron Collider at CERN. Yes, you heard that right. The same particle accelerator that people blame for the Mandela effect is also being linked to this acceleration of time. The LHC, with its powerful collisions of subatomic particles, is believed by some to be influencing the very fabric of our planet. They believe that these experiments could be creating microscopic black holes or altering the Earth's gravitational field in subtle ways. While there's no concrete evidence to support these claims, they add an exciting layer of mystery to our understanding of time and our planet. Wouldn't you agree? What are we looking at here? It's a seemingly ordinary street scene with people and cars going back and forth. But wait, there's something different. Above every person, there are bars identifying each one of them as they move about. This is no ordinary surveillance footage. This is the Skynet software in action. Imagine a world where every step you take, every move you make is being tracked and identified in real time. That's the reality with Skynet. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, Skynet is a powerful surveillance system that uses advanced AI to monitor public spaces. The software can recognize faces, track movements, and even predict behaviors. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's happening right now. In China, for example, Skynet is used extensively to monitor and maintain public order. It can identify individuals from a crowd, keep tabs on known criminals, and even prevent potential crimes before they happen. Think about walking down the street, going about your day unaware that an invisible eye in the sky is watching your every move. As you pass by, Skynet's AI analyzes your face, matches it with a vast database, and keeps a record of your movements. It can even alert authorities if it detects suspicious behavior. And the funny thing is, there's no escaping it. It's like having a personal surveillance drone following you around, only it's much more discreet and omnipresent. Many have stated its existence infringes on our fundamental human rights, while others argue that it protects those rights and our lives. What do you think?
गज कैसा वाला
This footage was taken from one of the African countries, and it shows a truly perplexing sight. On the sandy ground, it looks like the earth is bubbling up. As they pour water on it, the bubbling intensifies and then fizzes out. It's like nature's own little science experiment playing out in real time. It's both fascinating and a bit eerie seeing the ground behave in such an unexpected way. What do you think could be causing this bubbling effect? Have you ever seen anything like this before? Let us know in the comments section, especially if you have an explanation for what you're seeing. Someone captured this eerie footage on a path in the middle of the woods. A strange entity is seen walking across the path, resembling white smoke but distinctly shaped like a human. It appears for just a second and then vanishes again. The smoky, ethereal quality of the figure fits many descriptions of ghostly encounters. Ghosts are often reported to appear as misty shapes that can move in and out of visibility, and this footage certainly fits that bill. Others might suggest this is a forest entity, perhaps a spirit of the woods. Many cultures around the world have legends of spirits or beings that inhabit forests, appearing to protect or guard the natural world. These entities are often described as elusive and fleeting, much like the figure seen in the video. Yet another angle to consider is the idea of digital manipulation. With today's technology, it's not too difficult to create convincing special effects. Digital manipulation comes to mind a lot when you take a second look at the footage. The camera does not shake. It's stationary, almost as though it were a camera that was set up on a tripod or something. I know we hate it when clips shake too much, but when someone claims they're capturing something scary in real time, you expect a little shake, but there was none here. That feeds me with a lot of doubt. What do you guys think? You saw it right. Meet Dysar, an instant skin whitening cream that makes quite a stir. People apply it to their skin, and like magic, their skin becomes noticeably lighter almost immediately. This might sound like a dream come true for some, but it's also raising a lot of eyebrows and concerns. Instant results with any cosmetic product can be both alluring and alarming. Firstly, how does it work so fast? Most skin lightening products typically take weeks or even months to show results. The fact that Dysar works instantly makes one wonder about the ingredients involved. Are they safe for long-term use? What kind of chemicals can alter your skin tone so quickly? There's also the question of skin health. Rapid and drastic changes in skin tone can damage the skin barrier, leading to sensitivity, irritation, or even more severe dermatological issues. Many skin whitening products, especially those promising quick results, are not thoroughly regulated or tested for safety. This ad is disturbing on all levels, and I wouldn't recommend anyone using this product. Regulated whitening creams have adverse effects. How much more this? Unless, of course, the ad is exaggerated. Even then, it's a no. Love your skin. You're beautiful in it. A dog owner of 11 years finally laid her beloved pet to rest. After the dog passed, the family decided to take the ashes to the dog's favorite place in the park. It was a serene spot at the edge of a pond where the dog loved to play and relax. During the emotional farewell, the family spread the ashes and captured the moment in photographs. It was a bittersweet occasion, filled with memories and tears. And when they later looked through the pictures, they were in for a shock. In one of the photos, the ashes suspended in mid-air formed the shape that eerily resembled the deceased dog. The family couldn't believe their eyes. It was as if their beloved pet was there saying his final goodbye. Some family members felt comforted, believing it was a sign that their dog was still with them in spirit, giving them one last memory to cherish. Others were more skeptical, wondering if it was just a coincidence, a random pattern created by the wind and the movement of the ashes. There were even some who suggested that they might have edited the clip for clout. Personally, I doubt they would do that, but what do you think? At first glance, it looks like an eel, but wait, its head and neck are sticking out of the water in a way that's very unusual for an eel. And when you look closer, you notice something even stranger. Part of its body is also visible behind it, emerging from the water's surface. Its back appears wider, giving the impression that it might be much bigger than a typical eel. The sight of this mysterious creature gliding through the water has left everyone puzzled. The way its head and neck protrude above the water suggests something more complex than a simple eel. Some viewers speculate it could be a type of sea serpent or an unknown species of large aquatic animal. What do you think? Are we witnessing a rare glimpse of a sea monster? A number of enthusiasts think so, but some realists are also of the view that this is definitely CGI. What say you? Strange, isn't it? There must be a very large creature wriggling about in the murky depths covered in so much mud that it's hard to tell what it is. As the camera focuses, you can see the creature's movements are erratic, almost serpentine, but with an odd, undulating pattern that makes it even more mysterious. The murky water and the mud caked on its body obscure any clear details, leaving us to wonder what exactly we're looking at. Some speculate it could be an eel, its sinuous body moving through the sludge. Eels are known for their ability to navigate through muddy and murky environments, and their slippery, elongated bodies would fit the bill. However, there's something about the way this creature moves that seems off. What do you think? Being stuck in the middle of nowhere is probably one of the scariest experiences anyone could have. A couple found themselves in this exact nightmare scenario when their car broke down in the middle of nowhere. With no cell reception, they were forced to spend the night on the side of the road. Their only source of security, their two loyal dogs. As the night grew darker and deeper, the couple began to hear strange noises emanating from the forest surrounding them. At first, it was faint, but the growling and howling grew louder and more menacing with each passing minute. It seemed to be getting closer and closer, echoing through the silent night. Their dogs, usually so alert and protective, were eerily quiet, merely staring in the direction of the sounds. The man recounting the experience said the noises lasted for what felt like an eternity, about 20 minutes in reality. Then, just as suddenly as they had started, the sounds began to drift away, leaving an unnerving silence. The man couldn't wrap his head around what kind of creature could have been making those strange chilling noises. Some speculate that it could have been the vocalizations of a cryptid like Bigfoot, the chupacabra, or a wendigo. Others suggest it might have a more mundane explanation, perhaps a pack of wolves or coyotes, animals whose howls and growls can be quite terrifying in the dead of night. But even if it were just wolves or coyotes, the experience would still be hair-raising, especially when isolated and vulnerable. While taking a hike through the woods, a hiker began to feel uneasy as if he was being watched. He decided to take out his phone and began filming his surroundings. As the camera panned across the dense forest, he noticed something standing by the trees watching him. It was a tall figure in a dark cloak holding a stick. The sight sent a shiver down his spine. The figure looked eerily familiar, like the Grim Reaper himself. He hurried out of there as fast as he could. When he got home, he took another look at the footage, and it really was there. The dark figure was unmistakably real. The encounter left him shaken and with a chilling story to tell. At least that's what he said. What do you guys think? Mermaids. This topic just never gets old, does it? In a recent viral video, a man filmed an astonishing scene at a bustling port. At first glance, it appeared to be an ordinary catch of the day, with men struggling to carry a huge fish ashore. But as the creature was hoisted higher, there you see it. This isn't just any fish, it was a mermaid. The creature had the torso of a human with the arms and discernible face, but its lower half was unmistakably that of a fish. The man who filmed the video explained that the fishermen had ventured far out to sea, where they captured this mysterious being and brought it back to port. However, the internet is divided. Skeptics argue that this is a meticulously staged hoax, perhaps a sophisticated prop created for a movie or an elaborate prank. They point to the seamless integration of human and fish features as evidence of a highly skilled special effects artist at work. On the other hand, believers are adamant that this is the real deal. They highlight the lifelike details. To them, this is the validation of ancient myths and modern legends about mermaids. What are your thoughts? You know, train tracks are made of metal, which is a strong conductor of electricity, right? Now take a look at this fascinating footage. Someone captured a mysterious blue ball of light moving along the train tracks. As this glowing orb reached the electrical poles, there was a sudden burst of sparks, but the orb continued to float away undeterred, disappearing into the nearby woods. What could this be? Was it simply a ball of static electricity moving along the tracks, or was it some sort of paranormal phenomenon that triggered the electrical surge? Skeptics argue that the ball of light is just an example of ball lightning, a rare but natural electrical phenomenon where a spherical glow appears during thunderstorms. They suggest that the train tracks, being excellent conductors, could have attracted the ball lightning, causing dramatic sparks when it came to contact with the electrical infrastructure. On the other side, enthusiasts of the paranormal are convinced that this is something far more mysterious. They point out that the smooth, controlled movement of the orb, which seems almost purposeful, as if it were being guided by an unseen force. What say you? Scientists have come up with a groundbreaking way to deal with criminals. Instead of spending years in prison, offenders are sent to a facility called Cognify. Cognify works by utilizing advanced neuroscience and psychological techniques to alter a person's cognitive processes. The goal? To rewire the brain, helping individuals understand the consequences of their actions and fostering a deeper sense of empathy and responsibility. It's a blend of cutting-edge technology and profound human insight, aimed at reducing recidivism and creating a safer society. When a criminal enters Cognify, they undergo a thorough assessment to determine the underlying causes of their behavior. This includes brain scans, psychological evaluations, and even genetic tests. The data collected is used to create a personalized rehabilitation plan tailored to each individual. Whatever memories are uploaded to the brain are experienced as though they happened. A prisoner could undergo a 10-year sentence in just a few minutes. That's how powerful this thing could become if it succeeds. This is just a concept video, so we aren't there yet, but think about it. While I'm all in on helping prisoners use tech, the use of this technology in place of situations other than ones involving criminals is just high. Imagine being captured by someone and given memories of something you never really did. You could become an entirely different person. This could also take false witness to a whole new level. But then again, I may just be getting too far ahead of myself. What do you guys think? Take a look at this next clip. It shows a well in the middle of a field. At first, it looks like nothing is going on, but then we zoom in on the footage and you will see it. A dark figure, almost invisible, just walks right into the well. Now, when the video was posted, a lot of people believed that this was probably the ghost of someone who fell in and died. The idea of a ghost haunting a well is both eerie and fascinating. Wells have long been associated with mystery and folklore, often seen as portals to the unknown or places where spirits linger. The figure in this video, with its shadowy and almost transparent appearance, definitely adds to the spooky vibe. The big question, though, is this real? You see someone standing in front of a mirror, right? Everything does seem normal, right? Well, that's what the person standing there thought too, until something caught her eye. There was a strange red light reflecting in the mirror, and it didn't seem like it was supposed to be there. It was almost as if the light was coming from behind the mirror itself. The first thing that came to mind seeing this was that it was a two-way mirror, and if that's the case, this is truly unsettling. There are plenty of stories about creepy individuals installing two-way mirrors in public places to spy on unsuspecting people. Could this be one of those cases? Imagine going about your day only to realize that someone might be watching you from the other side of what you thought was just a regular mirror. The very thought sends chills down your spine. What would you do if you found yourself in a similar situation? These strange things or entities were captured emerging from the woods. They were dark, smoke-like figures, all moving toward the direction of the camera like an army of shadowy apparitions. In folklore, forests have often been seen as mystical places where the veil between our world and the supernatural is thin. Many cultures have stories of spirits and otherworldly beings that dwell in the trees, emerging only under certain conditions. The sight of these dark figures could be linked to such legends. Is this one of such circumstances? It's hard to say. There are some who think this is nothing but a hoax. A second look at the clip, but you can tell why they think so. The entities look more like 3D constructs than they do real beings. And given the fact that with today's technology, creating convincing special effects and illusions is easier than ever, many actually believe this is edited. Looking at the clip, what do you think these are? Speaking of illusions, we have another mirror situation, but this one is even more intriguing. A man is playing with a blue and black football in his room, casually tossing it around. But something strange happens every time the ball gets in front of the mirror. It doesn't reflect at all. The man, his room, and everything else are clearly reflected, but the ball is just missing. What could be happening here? Is this ball cursed or some kind of spiritual object? I guess I'll let you decide that. If there's an obvious reason I missed, please do let me know in the comments section. Sorry for not warning you about the upcoming jump scare, but I thought you had to experience it for yourself. If that didn't make you jump in any way, then I must let you know that I didn't jump either. I watched it like the strong, brave man I am without flinching. Seriously though, are there any divers here who can confirm having such an experience? Sure, I know there are sharks in the ocean, but every clip I have seen has always had them playfully swimming alongside divers who play with them like the ocean's version of dogs. I'm not sure if this shark was just confused or if it's an everyday thing. If it is, then perhaps I need to reorganize my priorities. I've always wanted to go diving, but always thought that it required specialized skill and equipment. I always assumed that those were the only two things I didn't have. Watching this clip now, I believe there's more to diving than just knowing what to do and having the equipment to help you do it. It requires boldness to face the unknown, something I may or may not have. What about you? Do you have the courage to explore the deep seas, knowing what bizarre discoveries you might encounter? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Our next clip comes from a trail cam that captured something both eerie and fascinating. Enjoy. In the dead of night, a very large spider with thick, almost unnaturally robust legs crawls out from the bushes. It moved slowly, purposefully, right across the camera's view before vanishing back into the darkness. Can you imagine stumbling upon something like that in the middle of a hike? It doesn't look spider-sized, it looks human-sized, as if small spiders weren't already scary enough. What kind of spider is that even? It's almost like something out of a horror movie. Spiders are usually small and creepy enough, but this one looks like it could give you nightmares. What would you do if you encountered such a creature in the wild? Would you stick around to get a closer look, or would you hightail it out of there as fast as possible? Now, what is this? This strange, sticky substance on the hinge of a door seems to be moving as if it has several limbs. It's very creepy to look at. Just imagine coming home after a long day, ready to relax, and then you spot this bizarre, gelatinous mass writhing on your door hinge. It looks almost alien, like something out of a sci-fi horror movie. The way it moves, almost purposefully, with tendrils or a limb slithering about, is enough to give anyone the chills. Some might think it's just an unusual type of mold or fungus, but the movement is too deliberate for that. Could it be some kind of unknown life form, or perhaps a new species of insect or arthropod? It's definitely not something you see every day. Religion often provides a sense of connection to a higher power, offering solace and community to believers. However, sometimes religious leaders can take advantage of this dedication in ways that are troubling. Take, for instance, the Church of End Times. This church has been making headlines because its leader is offering to sell plots of land in heaven. Yes, you heard that right. Plots of land in heaven, supposedly near God's palace. The idea is that by purchasing this celestial real estate, members can secure their place in the afterlife right next to the divine. It's astonishing how many stupid people are rushing to buy these so-called heavenly plots. The concept seems to be tapping into their deep-seated hopes and fears about the afterlife, promising eternal proximity to the divine for a price. But let's take a step back and consider this critically. How can anyone sell land in heaven? Heaven, by its very definition in most religious doctrines, is a spiritual realm not bound by physical properties or real estate transactions. The notion of selling plots in heaven raises serious ethical and theological questions. Is it right to exploit people's faith and spiritual aspirations for financial gain? Scientists say that Mars is the next most likely planet for human habitation, so many gadgets and researchers have been deployed to the planet. Thanks to their research, some intriguing images have been retrieved from Mars. The image shows certain structures on the planet that make some people believe it was once inhabited. Among these images are statues of large heads. There was even a strangely shaped skull and bones. There were also pyramids, ancient Egyptian-like statues, and hieroglyphs with the Eye of Horus seen on rocks and structures. Additionally, there appears to be the remains of a building as well. Not much proof has been provided to verify whether these are actual images from Mars or if they originate from somewhere else. If these images are indeed from Mars, does this imply that an ancient civilization which we believe existed on Earth once lived on Mars? Think about it. A TikTok user recently shared some intriguing footage online that has left viewers puzzled. In the video, a man is dancing while people walk back and forth behind him. At first glance, it seems like a typical scene, but let's take a closer look. Focus on the woman in the white top who appears behind the dancing man. She walks into the frame and then in an instant she vanishes without a trace. One moment she's there and the next she's gone as if dissolved in a thin air. Many believe it's a glitch in the Matrix. The idea of a Matrix glitch comes from the concept that our reality might be a simulated construct, and such glitches are errors in this grand simulation. Others suggest it could be an optical illusion or a cleverly edited video. Could the woman have walked behind an object or out of view in a way that made her seem to disappear? Or was this an intentional edit to create a viral moment? If you watch the clip carefully, though, you'll realize that just before it ends, the lady's garment and material become apparent. On the left side of the lady in blue, have you seen it? Yeah, so, no glitch. A man was wandering in the woods when he stumbled upon something truly bizarre on the trunk of a tree. It was a black and white bird with a splash of red in its chest, frozen in place. But that wasn't even the strangest part. The bird's body was facing upwards with its back bent backwards at an unnatural angle. Now bear in mind that this bird was clinging to the trunk of the tree, not a branch. It remained perfectly still, almost like a statue, and showed no signs of moving or falling. It was as if the bird was performing some sort of acrobatic pose defying the laws of nature. Could this be a fake bird, placed there as a prank or an art installation, or more intriguingly, did someone manage to press the bird's pause button in the Matrix, leaving it stuck in this unusual position? I'll let you decide on that one. Here we have a man recounting a harrowing encounter with what he believes was Bigfoot. Take a look.
It was on Memorial Day weekend of this year, and I was sitting on the back porch of my brother-in-law's house, drinking a cup of coffee, and off about 60 yards off to my left, something stepped out of the woods, and I just glanced over at it, and it was reddish brown. It was every bit of 8 foot, if not taller, because the grass was probably about 3.5 feet tall, and his hips were above, right to the top of the grass. And then it took off at a dead run, and it covered about 180 yards. It covered it in about 5 seconds.
Apart from everything he says, just look at his face. He looks absolutely petrified. His expression alone tells you that this man definitely saw something that shook him to his core. The man's story has sparked a flurry of reactions online. Some viewers believe his account wholeheartedly, citing it as further evidence of Bigfoot's existence. They argue that his raw, unfiltered fear is not something that can be easily faked. Others are more skeptical, suggesting that it could be a case of mistaken identity or an elaborate hoax. However, the man's palpable fear and detailed description make his story compelling. He didn't just see something, he experienced something deeply unsettling. This kind of genuine emotional response is hard to dismiss regardless of where one stands on the Bigfoot debate.
Proportion to his size. What scared me the most was, I just sat there on the porch in shock. I couldn't even move.
Someone sent this in claiming he'd captured an alien in real life. This alien-looking creature with a goat's head and a crown of 5 eyes on its forehead which make it look otherworldly. Just look at how it moves its jaws and blinks its eyes. It looks incredibly lifelike. The individual who sent this in believes it's real, but is it though? Even without Julius's input, I can tell you this is man-made. The level of detail and realism achieved in this creation is astounding. You can see the slight twitch of its muscles, the subtle movement of its eyelids, and even the texture of its skin, which human creativity knows no bounds. If we can make such lifelike creations, imagine what else we can create. This makes me realize that faking an alien invasion could be easier than we think. With a group of good actors in the right setting, the stage would be set for a convincing spectacle. In San Francisco, a man boarded a bus one night, and as they were en route, he noticed something strange about another passenger sitting by the window. It was a black man with dreadlocks sitting alone and staring straight ahead. But there was something deeply unsettling about his appearance. His eyes were bulging out, and he had this animalistic snarl on his face, revealing razor-sharp teeth. It was a sight that looked straight out of a horror movie. The man who took the photo shared it online without much context, just the disturbing image and no details about the mysterious figure. As soon as the photo was posted, it spread like wildfire. People were shocked and intrigued, trying to make sense of what they were seeing. Was this man possessed? Was he some kind of creature? Theories and speculations ran wild, with some even suggesting it was a shapeshifter or a demon. The image was so disturbing that it caught the attention of the media and internet sleuths alike. People were digging for more information, trying to find out who this man was and what could possibly explain his terrifying appearance. However, as the bus continued on its route and more information came to light, it was eventually revealed that the image had been edited. The bulging eyes and sharp teeth were the result of some digital manipulation, not a real-life horror. In the end, what started as a night of eerie curiosity turned into a lesson on the power of photo editing and the importance of skepticism. But for a brief moment, the thought of encountering such a creature on a late-night bus ride sent chills down everyone's spine. Nighttime, and night shifts are often when the most eerie encounters occur. Just take a look at this footage, for instance. Two employees who had decided to take on the night shift one evening captured something truly unsettling. They were busily working when they heard a noise coming from the second floor. Now, this particular second floor has a notorious reputation for being haunted, with many accounts of strange and unexplained happenings. Seizing the opportunity, one of the men decided to investigate. As they approached the hallway, one of them had his camera rolling, spanning the dimly lit corridor. The camera panned around, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary. The men continued to explore, with the first guy filming while the other followed behind. Just as the first man turned the camera toward his colleague, it captured something in one of the rooms with an open door. They didn't notice anything unusual at the time. It wasn't until they reviewed the footage later that they saw it, a dark figure standing ominously in the doorway of one of the rooms. Can you imagine the chill that must have run down their spines when they saw that figure in the footage? They were probably just trying to get through a routine night shift, only to discover they might not have been as alone as they thought. Some viewers suggested it was just a shadow. Others, however, were convinced it was proof of the paranormal, perhaps a spirit lingering in the haunted second floor. A young boy had an unexpected and spine-chilling encounter when he came across a strange creature stuck to the floor.
Just the suction hurts. And there's its teeth. That tongue just cuts right into you. And now he's going snake.
At first glance, it looked like a snake, but there was something unusual about it. It had what appeared to be fins at the end of its tail, adding to its eerie appearance. Curious and a bit cautious, the boy decided to investigate. He noticed that the creature's face was firmly attached to the ground, and it took quite a bit of effort for him to pry it off. When he finally managed to do so, he was met with a horrifying sight. The creature had a mouth full of sharp teeth and no eyes at all. It looked like something straight out of a nightmare. Before you start freaking out, let me tell you what this creature is. It's called a lamprey. Despite its terrifying appearance, the lamprey is a fascinating and ancient species. These jawless fish have been around for millions of years, dating back to prehistoric times. Lampreys are often referred to as living fossils because they've remained relatively unchanged for about 360 million years. They have a unique eel-like body and are known for their parasitic feeding habits, latching onto other fish with their sucker-like mouths and using their sharp teeth to bore into the flesh of their hosts. The lamprey's lack of eyes and its round-toothed mouth give it an almost alien-like appearance, which can be quite shocking to those who encounter them for the first time. However, they play an important role in the ecosystem, and despite their fearsome look, they are incredible examples of nature's diversity and adaptability. What is this, you ask? You're looking at a woman who's gone to great lengths to transform herself to look like an alien. It's a remarkable and somewhat controversial journey of body modification and self-expression. As you can see, she's had extensive blackwork tattoos on her chest, with an alien tattoo prominently displayed in the center. The intricate design really makes a statement, doesn't it? But that's just the beginning. She's also had numerous fillers injected into her face, altering its contours and giving it a more otherworldly appearance. The effect is striking, making her look less human and more like a being from another planet. She's also tattooed her face with black strip tattoos, which adds to her extraterrestrial aesthetic. It's fascinating how she's embraced these extreme forms of body modification to achieve a look that's truly out of this world. Some people might find it shocking or even unsettling, while others see it as an incredible form of artistic expression and personal identity. Meet the blue dragon sea slug, and yes, for once I can confirm this isn't CGI. It's the real deal. This stunning little marine marvel might make you rethink everything you thought you knew about slugs. The blue dragon, or Glaucus atlanticus, if we're actually scientific, looks like something out of a fantasy novel. Its vibrant blue hue and wing-like appendages give it an almost mythical appearance. You'd never guess that this intricate, beautiful creature is a type of sea slug, would you? Floating on the ocean's surface, this tiny creature is not just about looks. The blue dragon has a fascinating and somewhat fearsome lifestyle. It preys on other venomous sea creatures like the Portuguese man-of-war, and it's not just immune to their venom, it actually stores the venom in its own body to use as a defense mechanism against predators. Talk about turning the tables. What's really intriguing is how this little slug can be both delicate and deadly. It absorbs the stinging cells from its prey and then repurposes them, making itself one of the ocean's most effective tiny predators. This adaptation helps it survive in the big blue seas. So next time you're by the ocean, keep an eye out. You never know when you might spot one of these extraordinary little dragons floating by. There are some who think the existence of dinosaurs was made up by scientists, yet that's because these individuals have not been to Texas. Yes, Texas. In Texas, there's a river called the Paluxy River. Back in the 1930s, an astonishing discovery was made under the riverbed. Hidden beneath layers of limestone was well-preserved footprints, but not just any footprints. These were tracks of dinosaurs alongside human footprints. Yeah, you heard that right. Human footprints, about 15 to 20 inches long, were found side by side with those of dinosaurs. One of these human tracks, which was cast for further study, turned out to be a size 24. This would mean that humans and dinosaurs coexisted, challenging the long-held beliefs that dinosaurs roamed the earth millions of years before humans ever appeared. If humans and dinosaurs did indeed walk the earth at the same time, it would rewrite the history books and shake up everything we thought we knew about our planet's past. These tracks in the Paluxy River have sparked a lot of debate and curiosity. Some skeptics argue that the human-like footprints might be misinterpretations or natural formations. However, the sheer size and distinct shape of these prints make them hard to dismiss outright. So, what do you think? Could humans and dinosaurs have shared the same world, walking side by side? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Next, we have another potential scream of a skinwalker, which was recorded on a home security system. Listen to it. Did you hear it? What could be happening in the woods? Was that really a skinwalker? If the scream is that loud, does that mean the creature lives nearby? Is the creature trying to lure the homeowners out? So many questions, yet little to no answers. What do you think? Still on the supernatural, watch this footage. Did you see that? Do you see the being that fell into the water? Well, what do you think it is? The person who uploaded the footage captured by their Trailcam believed that what fell into the water was a ghost. However, after the video was uploaded, the paranormal community speculated that it was not a ghost per se, but rather a young lady who had become possessed by one. Personally, I think she might be possessed too. A critical analysis of the footage reveals the presence of either one possessed person near the water or a life-size doll, potentially serving as the source of the possession. Although we may not be able to fully tell what we're dealing with, we know that whatever it is, it's a spirit or a ghost of sorts. What do you think? If you thought that was out of the ordinary, I wonder what you'd make of this next footage. Yes, that's an actual, massive ape-like creature with fur all around and a muscular build. Unlike other ape-like creatures that we know, however, this one is built like a human and actually moves like one. If you pay attention to its movements in the capture, you'll realize this, but that's not all. It seems like the Bigfoot has noticed there's someone filming it. It keeps trying to hide behind the trees, albeit unsuccessfully, because we can still see it. Is the video real, though? A part of me doesn't think so. The footage keeps going in and out of focus, as though someone was intentionally causing it to appear so. Why, one might wonder, but here's where the plot thickens, at least for me. I can't help but think the footage isn't real and that they're trying to throw us off. Amidst this tapestry of mystery, I offer my humble musings, a mere 5 cents worth. But what's yours? Numerous reports of mermaid sightings have made headlines, but skepticism still surrounds their existence. Get ready to challenge the stereotypes surrounding these legendary creatures. Watch this video clip. Next, we see a man who seems to have fallen from a flat object, perhaps a boat. It looks like he was using it for balance as he moved. Right beside the red object, there's a glimpse of a creature's tail, a hint of its hasty retreat through the water. Now, let's talk about the man's fall. The best guess, the sudden appearance of the creature caught him off guard and caused him to lose his balance. His paddle, his only anchor. He scrambles back onto the ship, and intriguingly, the creature is still visible on the other side, fading into the depths as he paddles away. Now, the big question, what exactly was that? The uploader insists it's a mermaid, but honestly, I'm not seeing it. Yet others who've seen this clip are convinced. One user even wrote, "Land has birds, water has fish. We have elephants, they have whales, so why wouldn't there be some sort of other human-like creature in the ocean?" Seems kind of logical, right? But let's really think about it. I'll leave that decision up to you. What do you think, though? Do you think there was a mermaid? Let us know in the comments. Next is footage I would want you to see before I pass any comments. Watch the clip. Did you notice anything out of place? Have a look again. Did you catch it? Well, in case you missed it, a few seconds into the clip, there's something peculiar moving in the shadows just beyond the reach of the headlights. It's almost as though it's moving quickly so that it's not seen by those in the vehicle. Although it manages to get away, the dashboard cam of the vehicle records it. Upon closer examination of the footage, it becomes evident that the creature is covered in fur and exhibits an uncanny ability to walk upright. Apes can do that, but the footage was recorded in a region where there are no apes. This can only mean one thing: we are dealing with a cryptid. There's only one that fits the bill: Bigfoot. The uploaders were convinced they were dealing with a Bigfoot, and we are as well, but what do you think? Tell us in the comments section. Speaking of rare occurrences, take a look at this image. In it, we see a buck carrying a pig pierced on its antlers in the midst of a wide field. Upon closer inspection, you'll notice that the object impaled on its antlers resembles a pig, adding to the mystery. Take a closer look and you'll be astonished to see that it indeed resembles a pig. A buck and a pig? How? I mean, why? Could it have been provoked, or is it something it does for sport? Is it even possible? Is there a logical explanation for it? Sure, a buck could cause serious damage to a pig with its antlers, but how to raise the whole pig? I doubt that's even possible, or could there be something we're missing here? Tell us what you think in the comments section. What would you do if you heard weird noises while camping out in the woods alone? Run? Mind your own business? Try to call for help? Well, not the man who recorded the footage I'm about to show you. He gets to the location and he's greeted with this strange and bad smell. That should have been his cue to leave, But instead, he explores the area some more until he spots something strange in the distance. Naturally, he freaks out seeing whatever it is staring at him. Now, hang on a second, there's something staring at him. But wait, what is it? What is that thing? We've watched and rewatched the footage, but we still can't put our finger on it. Whatever it is looks like some sort of Halloween costume. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't in any way look lifelike, at least not to my eyes. Now, here's the kicker. Am I just being overly critical? Seriously, I can't help but wonder. What's your take? Do you think that thing that appears in the camera view is real? Tell us in the comments section, as we'd love to know. This humanoid creature was spotted and filmed one night on the streets of northeastern America. The pale, slender creature looks to be moving in the dead of night. Initially mistaken for a human, possibly a burglar, a closer look at its movements and features reveal a sinister truth. Take a good look. It's like this creature is stuck in a permanent crouch, creeping at an eerie and oddly slow pace. Here's the kicker. This creature stands out with its extreme paleness like a ghostly figure. And check this out. It seems to know it's out of place, constantly moving its head, scanning the surroundings with an air of frantic awareness. Skeptics who have come across this creature believe it's a rake, a paranormal creature that traumatizes its victims. Some think it's an alien, while others think it's a homeless person. But what do you think it is? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Speaking of supernatural, this next footage is one for the books. At first glance, the footage you were seeing on your screen looks just like any other Trailcam footage. A couple of deer grazing and carefully looking around to make sure they are safe. When the owner of the Trailcam reviewed it, he saw the same. After a closer inspection of the video, however, it came to light that there were more characters in the footage than initially thought. Watch the footage again and pay attention. Do you see the face there in the brightened image? At some point in the footage, you see the deer look in that same direction as though they knew the creature was there. Could it be that the Bigfoot noticed the camera and refused to come out and get noticed? Let us know what you think. Next, imagine you are on a romantic date with your spouse in the woods when an unknown creature which doubles as a giant suddenly moves in the bushes ahead of you. How would you respond? Now stop imagining and watch the video. Did you see it? You saw the giant move in the bushes, didn't you? This footage was recorded by a couple whose romantic night out was suddenly interrupted by a disturbance in the bushes, only for them to see what you saw on screen. Now, let's examine the creature's appearance. It's covered in hair, walks upright like a human, and possesses a body reminiscent of an ape. What creature comes to mind from this description? Yes, you're right, a Bigfoot. No one likes a third wheel whilst on a romantic date, but no one expects that third wheel to be a ginormous creature. Everyone seems to believe that the giant was Bigfoot. What do you think? In various documentaries, we often witness a diverse array of animals scaling trees for their afternoon siestas or a quick lunch. And guess what? This video clip from Marrakesh, Morocco is no different. But hold on, this one's got something truly remarkable. Take a look. In this footage, numerous goats are observed approaching a specific tree known to bear argon peppers resembling olives crushed by the side of a muddy road. If someone had told me that goats would one day engage in the intriguing and elegant art of tree climbing, I would have required significant persuasion. But look at this, these goats are scaling the argon tree like they're born mountaineers. They reach the tippy top where the argon peppers hang, and they feast away while balancing on the tree's sturdy branches. As a result, they've earned the moniker Tree Goats of Morocco. Here's the twist. Why on earth do these goats have a thing for the Argan tree? Are they just after the Argan peppers, or is there something more enticing about this tree? Is it only for the Argan peppers it produces? What other speciality attracts these goats to the Argan tree? My dear Moroccans, what do you all have to share on this? For our next footage, we travel all the way to Oregon. Imagine being deep in the woods, camping alone, and then you hear knocks and thumps on your vehicle. How would you react? Now, stop imagining and watch this footage because that's exactly what's happening here.
I'd be in the back of my truck right now. I don't even know what time it is. And there's someone walking around my truck right now. If you can hear that, it's pretty loud. I don't really know what to do. I'm a little freaked out right now. And it's like pitch black outside. Probably like 2 in the morning. And he just keeps walking around.
Meet Noah, the guy in this video. He's out camping in his truck all alone deep within the remote Oregon woods. He expected to be by himself for the night until he started hearing someone knocking on his truck around 2 a.m. in the morning.
He's touching my truck. How am I supposed to get him away? He's literally knocking. He's literally knocking on my truck. I don't think he knows that there's anyone in here. He keeps walking around. I don't get it. Let's see if he goes away eventually.
The knocks grow louder and more insistent as if someone urgently tries to break in. Noah's breath quickens, worry etched on his face. He glances at his phone. It's 2:30. With a quick decision, he flicks on his flashlight hoping to scare off the intruder. And just like that, the knocks cease. As dawn breaks, he speeds away back to civilization. It's only then that he notices strange marks on his car, marks that weren't there before. He's convinced it was just a random person trying to break in. But think about it, he was in the middle of nowhere. Could it have been a Bigfoot, or was it someone also out camping and worried? If that's the case, why did they run when the flashlights came on? I mean, there are pieces missing from this puzzle. Could he be pulling a stunt for a taste of fame? Who's to say? We might never find out. Here's the bottom line. Don't camp solo. Noah got lucky, but you might not be as fortunate. What do you think about the whole thing, though? Tell us in the comments section. Still on the supernatural, watch this next footage.
Starting to regret that I stopped at this rest stop. And they say big.
Did you hear that? Do you hear those vocalizations? I mean, let's be honest, those vocalizations don't sound like any predator we're familiar with, right? It sounds nothing like a wolf, bear, or even mountain lion. What then could it be? No one truly knows. The recorder of the footage, however, can be heard in the background, stating he can't believe people refuse to believe in Bigfoot after all this. The reason for his statement is simple. Beyond the general consensus among many logical minds that Bigfoot does not exist, many individuals who live near the woods the video was recorded in state that they don't believe in the cryptid despite the numerous sightings of the creature. The strange vocalizations might also have been going on for a long time, and no one has ever been able to get to the bottom of it. So what do you think? Do you believe that we're dealing with a Bigfoot, or do you think there's a more logical explanation to the whole thing? Tell us in the comment section. Would the government cover up the existence of cryptids? Well, this next Trailcam footage seems to suggest so. The footage reveals a dog-like creature sprinting through the woods, captured on what appears to be a body cam attached to an individual in pursuit. The story behind this footage is that it was recorded on a government operation to find and suppress a dogman creature in an undisclosed location. However, after unknown individuals or hackers leaked the footage to the public, they seemingly vanished without a trace. The footage looks weird because it's stabilized footage from a clip that's less than 5 seconds long. You are literally watching it frame by frame. It's hard to ignore how awkward and wacky it looks. Do you think this is the real deal, or is this a well-planned and clever hoax? Tell us in the comments section. This creature was spotted on a trail cam and its owner was not sure of what he was looking at. Naturally, he decided to share it with the public to figure out what the creature could be. And in the frame, there it is, an emaciated figure somewhat resembling a dog emerges from the depths of the woods. Its eyes are locked onto the trail camera. Notice those perked ears atop its head and a snout that's oddly dog-like. But hold on, the long limbs give this creature away. This isn't just another stray dog, there's something more, something maybe even sinister lurking here. I can't help but wonder, could this be the legendary Dogman, the mysterious creature born of myth and folklore? While it's hard to give a definitive answer, we'd definitely love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Can trees move? If your answer was no, then watch this footage, which will surely shock you. Yes, that's an actual tree moving. If you're familiar with the movie The Matrix, you might notice a resemblance to the movements of the Sentinels. But the question remains, do trees truly move like this? Or do trees even have the ability to move at all? The answer is, while a few tree species exhibit a slow form of locomotion over an extended period, no tree is naturally meant to move in such a manner. This begs one question though, what's happening here? The truth is we don't have a definitive answer, but if I were to venture a guess, I'd lean towards this being the result of CGI. I mean, I wouldn't want them to exist, and there's no logical way to explain it. Can you imagine what trees would do to us if they could move like that after the deforestation and destruction we've brought up on the planet? I don't know about you, but there's no way I'm believing this is real. How about you? Did you know that there was drone technology that allowed the operators to form images and QR codes in the sky? What if I told you that nature did this first? Confused? Watch this footage. In the footage, we see a group of starlings, or if you want to get technical, a murmuration shape-shifting into various forms. The birds are no strangers to such behavior, but on this particular day, the photographer noticed an unusual level of activity. Intrigued, he focused his attention and readied his camera. And within mere minutes, his preparedness met a golden opportunity, allowing him to capture the extraordinary scene you're witnessing on your screen. And yes, that's a giant bird made up of hundreds, if not thousands, of smaller birds. All who saw this were left in awe, and it didn't just happen once, but twice in the same night, and hasn't happened again ever since then. There are some who believe it's natural and perhaps a mere coincidence, but the paranormal community thinks otherwise. They believe that there could be something more at play, yet can't seem to place their fingers on it. What do you think, though? Before you conclude you are seeing things, allow me to assure you that you are not. Behold, right in front of you lies the Minnesota Iceman, a seemingly lifeless Bigfoot. Sure, it exhibits ape-like fur and body, but its proportions and muscular build are strangely reminiscent of a well-built man. You don't need to be a scientist to know that this 7-foot creature walked on 2 feet. But how did it die, and how was the body found? This is a story that no one has been able to figure out. This creature was initially promoted and sent around the world by a man known as Frank Hansen. He claimed that he found the frozen corpse in a region of Siberia. Once authorities started descending on him, however, the story changed multiple times until it was finally declared a hoax. This revelation came after the original body he presented disappeared from public view for months. Hansen then resurfaced with another corpse, claiming it was a more recent capture. However, investigators soon discovered that it was nothing more than a latex and rubber model, skillfully crafted in the West. It even went on sale on eBay in 2013. So, what happened to the first model? Was it really a fake as well? Or did Henson pull it from public view because of threats or fears of it being stolen or taken from him? Well, the truth remains a mystery, but some in the paranormal community speculate that Henson might have killed and illegally imported a rock ape during his time in the Vietnam War. For those who don't know, the rock ape is a Vietnamese cousin of the Bigfoot. What do you think, though? Hoax or true? Tell us in the comments section. You know, it's not exactly news that creatures roam our world, with some of them lurking in our woodlands, but I've got to admit, the beings that show up on Trailcams make me question everything. Were we fed lies about Earth, or are monsters from our wildest movies stepping into reality? And now for this last piece of footage, a creature caught on a Trailcam's lens. Just have a look. Towering figure striding across the camera's field of view. And get this, those legs, they're impossibly elongated and slender. This creature is one riddle we're trying to crack, but there is more. The creature, enigmatic and otherworldly, challenges our understanding of anatomy. Limbs of traditional shape and purpose are conspicuously absent, replaced by a singular neck that arcs like a question mark, crowned with a head that defies convention. Although its lifelike semblance is striking, my team and I can't shake the suspicion that this might just be an elaborate hoax. But what do you think? This image was taken by a woman who went touring with her son at the Jenny Wade household. As her son was peeking through a bullet hole that was left on the door, she decided to take a picture of the house. And there, on the footage, she spotted this strange, ghost-like entity standing between the camera and her son. The surprised woman decided to share this footage online. The concept of life after death is intricate, and the belief in spirits lingering among the living is a universal thread woven through diverse cultures and religions. The entity captured in this image could be anything, yet a prevailing notion suggests it might be the ghost of Jenny Wade herself. Tracing back to the 1900s during the American Civil War, this house carries a haunting tale. Jenny was peacefully kneading dough in her kitchen when a bullet pierced through her kitchen door and walls, tragically ending her life. Since that fateful day, the house has stood as a silent witness, inviting visitors to gaze upon the haunting bullet holes etched into its walls. Legends perpetuate the idea that departed spirits often linger where their earthly journey met a tragic halt. It's not beyond imagination to speculate that the faint enigmatic figure captured in the footage is none other than Jenny's restless spirit, a lingering reminder of the past, bridging the chasm between then and now. Or am I just exaggerating over an edited photo? Share your thoughts in the comments section. We have this possessed goat. Confused? Watch the video. In the video, we observe a goat behind a fence climbing over it and emitting sounds that are uncommon for a goat. This begs the question, is it really possessed or is this simply a goofy and friendly goat? Share your opinions, because we'd love to read them. Have you ever wondered how big or small a dog will look next to a wolf? Well, wonder no more, for we received special footage answering exactly that. A man was exploring the woods with his dog when it started barking hysterically after running off a few meters from him. Not only was it hysterical, but it also started running as though it were being chased by something. The owner, perplexed by his dog's extreme fear, couldn't understand what could scare such a large and experienced woodland companion. It was used to the woods and was much larger than your average dog. After a few seconds, however, he didn't have to wonder anymore. As his dog dashed out of the woods, the owner's gaze followed, revealing a formidable sight. A large black timber wolf in hot pursuit. Although his dog is a wolf dog, you can see how small it is next to an actual wolf. One might expect the dog to retreat after the initial encounter, but to the owner's surprise, it courageously returns to chase after the wolf. The owner realizes his dog might just die and goes after it, ending the video. If this video is proof of anything, it's that things don't have to be supernatural to be scary.
Holy, oh my god. Yo, come look at this. Look at that, dude.
A man shared this footage he'd taken in the sky right above a residential area. It was a saucer-shaped object that was flying in the sky. The object moved slowly and steadily for a few moments before coming to a stop. It remained stationary in the sky for several seconds before suddenly accelerating and disappearing from view at a staggering speed. Some people think the video isn't real because these days it's pretty common to use computer tricks to make things look real even when they're not. But then some believe in the authenticity of the sighting, pointing to the sheer improbability of fabricating such a convincing encounter. After all, stranger things have happened in the realm of UFO sightings and unexplained phenomena. What's your take?
Holy, oh my god. Yo, come look at this.
Next, we have drone footage from an unnamed rural area. The footage starts off as one of those documentaries from the rural areas, but soon enough, we realize it's not. As the footage plays on, a peculiar and unsettling sight unfolds. At the entrance of what seems to be an old deserted shack in the middle of nowhere, we spot a pale and ghostly figure crouched on the ground, seemingly engrossed in some activity. The nature of this activity remains shrouded in mystery. Moments later, this enigmatic figure becomes aware of the drone's presence and proceeds to exit the shack and move towards the compound. As the figure draws nearer, we can discern that its appearance is both human-like and disfigured, evoking eerie and unsettling qualities. Some refer to this kind of being as a rake or a skinwalker, often associated with otherworldly creatures or even extraterrestrial entities. The questions that emerge are numerous. What might a creature of this nature be doing in a town setting? What could its intentions be in this particular part of town? The footage leaves us with a perplexing and unsettling enigma. As much as I'd love to believe this thing is real and genuine, a part of me believes. No, a part of me knows that this is definitely a hoax. The coincidences are just too numerous, and also, the being looks like it might be a human pretending to be something else. Usually when you hear of haunted houses, it's of people moving into a house that's already haunted or perhaps an incident that could have caused the haunting. But I stumbled upon this strange footage.
This is a video my friend sent me.
Move the crisp. Whoa! Whoa!
You'll have seen me tag him. His name's King Smithy.
This man, however, has been living in his apartment for 10 years with no issues whatsoever till now. Without intending to, he captured this eerie experience on camera.
Pushing it, it like indents the packet. No, that's just freaky, man.
Hello?
He was in the living room going about his normal day when he noticed a pack of chips moving on its own on the ground. There was no one else in the house with him at the moment, and there was no windy situation either, so how is this bag of chips moving on the floor? It's like an unknown force, but how is this possible? A commenter was rather skeptical and believed that this was just an orchestrated hoax. Others believe this is a ghost, others also say it's a demon. A particular commenter said this: could be an entity that just shows up because someone in the area opened a portal. What do you think? Is there some credibility to this story, or is it nothing more than an attempt for his 5 minutes of fame?
This is a video my friend sent me.
Move the crisp. Whoa! Whoa!
You'll have seen me tag him. His name's King Smithy.
Now, look at that. A huge serpent at the mouth of a woodland. It's grey with a pink fin-like thing on its head. Quite the intimidating sight, wouldn't you agree? But when you take a closer look, this creature has got that oddly whimsical look to it, almost like it's been plucked straight out of a cartoon. Quite unreal, don't you think? This has led many to conclude the whole thing is fake and the audio in the background is just there to create the impression that it's real. I'm not buying it though, but maybe that's just me. What do you think? Have you ever watched a movie and seen people using disguises to break into places? What happens when the disguise isn't human but canine? Confused? Allow me to explain. This footage looks like a cute dog trying to get into his home, right? Would you believe me if I told you that the owner who recorded the footage stated that the dog was already inside the house? So if the dog is already in the house, how could there be another that looks exactly like it trying to break into the house? That's a question we'll never truly know the answer to because the owner never opened the door. He went in and confirmed that his dog was truly indoors. Once the footage was uploaded online, all who saw it believed it was a skinwalker. Given the evidence we're presented with, I'm tempted to believe that hypothesis. A skinwalker could have been trying to lure the owner out using his dog and then unalive him, or worse. What do you think? Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. Next, we have footage from a man who believes that we are living in a simulation. After watching the footage, I can't blame him for thinking so. Take a look. You see it, don't you? How does a car this large get trapped that way between two buildings? It wouldn't have been an issue if it looked like a crash, but here we have a car facing upward between two buildings in a way that should not be possible if we're being logical. Most often, the glitch in the Matrix arguments seem far-fetched, but unless there's some avant-garde architectural design at play here, the whole scene seems like a glitch in the Matrix. I mean, cars are supposed to be on the road, not defying gravity between buildings, right? It leaves you wondering, is this an intentional installation, or did someone hit the wrong button in the reality control room? Would you release a dinosaur into the wild if you had one? Well, my answer will most likely be no, but this dude is no ordinary person. We don't know how, but he appears to be in possession of a pet dinosaur. If you were to ask me the oddest thing a person could keep as a pet, a dinosaur would be the last thing on my mind. Not because it's not odd, but, well, because it's the last thing you would expect anyone to keep. Also, they're extinct, which makes this piece of footage even more surprising. How do you think he got himself a dinosaur? Do you sometimes feel that the universe we live in is not real? Does it sometimes feel like we're all living in a computer simulation like the Matrix? If you've experienced these feelings and thoughts, you aren't the only one. Thousands have felt this way, and our next clip is one of the reasons people believe it. The footage shows what appears to be a tree floating from the forest towards a town. Initially, people thought it was an edited video, but upon closer examination, the shadow of the tree on the ground indicates that it was a real occurrence. This raises the question of how a tree can float like that. Was it a mistake, or was it something supernatural like a possessed tree? There is still a lot of speculation about what could have caused this phenomenon. Some people suggest it might have been caused by a strong wind or a freak accident, while others propose that it could be a supernatural occurrence. Whatever the case may be, this incident has left many people scratching their heads, wondering if there is more to our world than meets the eye. Next, we have another security camera that appears to have captured a strange encounter. Two men were walking and appeared to be engrossed in conversation as they strolled freely. Suddenly, a beam appears from above, whisking away one of the men in a flash. It reminds me of those scenes from alien abduction movies. His left-behind friend who noticed this becomes scared, looks around, and starts to run. But where can he really go if there are aliens abducting with such efficiency and speed? This isn't the end of the encounter, however. After a while, the guy who vanished reappears sitting on the ground. He looks around in confusion, appears scared, and proceeds to stand up and run as well. Could this be one of those alien abduction cases where they took the wrong person and returned him, or could they have done something to him, just like we tag animals and then let him go? If this footage is real, then it's indeed very disturbing. Don't you agree? Our next image, which is a Trailcam image, captures a rather strange creature. The owner of the Trailcam was pretty shocked to spot this creature. It looks like a deer, but not quite. Its snout is longer, almost like an anteater, but not as long as one. What could we be looking at? A deformed animal? Some paranormal enthusiasts believe that this is a skinwalker. These shape-shifting entities can assume animal forms. The belief is that sometimes these transformations don't go as planned, resulting in creatures that appear deformed or otherworldly. What's your take on this enigmatic Trailcam capture? A unique and potentially undiscovered species, or could it indeed be a manifestation of paranormal entities like the elusive skinwalkers? An intriguing event was captured on camera by an unknown person. From the footage, we see a strange light suddenly appear in the clouds, and just as quickly as it appeared, it disappears. Upon closer inspection, the light seemed to be emanating from a craft of some kind, which was not visible to the naked eye. The light appeared to be hovering in the sky and then vanished in the blink of an eye, leaving many to wonder if it could be a case of a cloaked UFO. The incident has sparked a great deal of discussion and debate among those who believe in extraterrestrial life and UFO sightings. What's your take on the clip? During a horseback ride in the woods, a group of men came across a mysterious creature. The creature was small in size, but it had dark fur and a long furry tail. As they approached, the creature hid behind a leafy plant, making it difficult to see its features. Suddenly, without warning, the creature leapt out from behind the plant and attacked one of the men on the horses. Observers speculated that it could be an anteater, given its long snout. However, we couldn't be sure, as the creature's appearance was unlike anything they had seen before. What say you guys? What are these strange cloud formations? These clouds are making strange formations and moving pretty fast. Possible atmospheric phenomena that could create unusual cloud formations include the presence of certain weather conditions, wind patterns, or even the convergence of air masses. In the case of forming tornado suspicions, it's crucial to note that tornadoes are associated with specific atmospheric conditions, and they typically manifest in severe weather situations. What are your thoughts on this atmospheric mystery? Do you lean towards a natural explanation, or does the phenomenon evoke a sense of the unexplained in you? Tell us in the comment section. This security footage was sent in by someone who noticed something rather odd happening in it. A woman appears out of nowhere holding bags. It's the kind of spectacle that prompts us to wonder if ethereal entities are strolling incognito amongst us. You have to wonder where she's coming from and how often she does this. Also, is she the only one, or are there more? These are questions that naturally come up when you see the clip. Of course, it could be a case of edited footage, but it has not been proven if the footage was tampered with or not. Until then, Aaron and I believe this might be the real deal. But what about you? This next incident has unlocked a new fear in me. It involves a snake that was found in a toilet, and it's unclear how the snake managed to get there. Some speculate that the snake may have climbed into the toilet, while others believe it may have come up through the drains. Unfortunately, the exact cause of the snake appearance remains unknown. When the homeowner discovered the snake, they immediately called for help. A group of uniformed men arrived at the scene and attempted to remove the snake. However, the reptile seemed to be stuck, and the men were unable to extract it from the toilet bowl. As a result, they had to remove the entire toilet before they could finally remove the snake. Oh, the thought of a snake appearing in such an unexpected place is enough to make anyone double-check before using the toilet. Have you ever had such an experience? Share it with us in the comments section. In recent times, there has been a rather peculiar phenomenon observed in the sky. Witnesses have reported sightings of a bright ball of light appearing out of nowhere, followed by a strange stroke of light emanating from it. The stroke of light seems to be highly intense, almost as if it is being projected towards a specific location. In one instance, the stroke of light was observed descending towards the Earth's surface. The nature of this phenomenon is still unknown and has left many people wondering if it is a natural occurrence or if there is something more sinister at play. Scientists and experts have yet to come up with a definitive explanation for this mysterious occurrence. Some have suggested that it could be a result of atmospheric conditions, while others believe that it could be related to extraterrestrial activity. What do you think this could be? Now, what do we have here? Some possessed insect? Well, that's what I thought when I saw it, but turns out this creature is what we call a wasp-mantid fly. Just imagine a wasp and a praying mantis deciding to have a bizarre love child. That's the wasp-mantid fly for you. It's got the sleek, slender body of a wasp, but those front legs, pure mantis vibes. It looks like the insect world decided to experiment with genetic fusion just to keep things interesting. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. This critter is a bit of a predator with the taste for small insects and larvae. When it's mealtime, it goes all ninja with those mantis-like legs, snatching up its prey with precision. But wait, there's more. The wasp-mantid fly has a neat trick up its sleeve. It's able to mimic the appearance of wasps, rocking the yellow and black colors to confuse both predators and unsuspecting prey. Let's just say that if you lived in the insect world, this would be the last creature you would want to encounter. Is nature now playing magic tricks on us? A man was driving by a field when he noticed something strange. As he looked through his window, he saw a brush burning, so he parked to check it out. But that's where things get odd. When he looked out this time, the fire was gone. When he went back into the car and looked out through his glass window, he noticed the fire. But when he tried to use his naked eyes, there was simply nothing there. I mean, how is this even possible? The thing is, well, we don't know, but even David Blaine could never stop or explain this strange phenomenon. Take a look at this picture. A man captured his foot in the prints made by a creature. Guess what creature it is? While Sasquatch is known for its large footprints, the track captured in this picture appears to be even bigger than that. It appears to be made by a Kodiak bear, one of the largest species of bear in the world. Kodiak bears are native to Alaska and are known for their enormous size, which can range from 800 to 1,500 pounds and can stand over 10 feet tall when on their hind legs. Their footprints are among the largest of all land animals, measuring up to 14 inches in length and 8 inches in width. So it's no surprise that the track captured in this picture is truly impressive and likely made by a Kodiak bear. I know you're waiting for the next clip, but my new friend Bigfoot asked me to ask you if you've liked and subscribed yet. If you haven't, please do so now, or I'll send him after you. A cat with wings. It's so fascinating and strange at the same time. The cat has grown a pair of what appear to be wings on its sides. The wings were small in size with a furry texture that perfectly matched the fur on the cat's body. It was as if the wings were a natural part of the cat's anatomy. But since when do cats have wings? I wonder if some kind of genetic modification might be at play here. It's possible that the cat's DNA was altered through some kind of experimental breeding or gene therapy. Skeptics doubt that the wings on the cat are real and believe that they're just accessories that have been attached to the cat. They speculate that the wings have been customized to match the cat's fur because they fit so perfectly. But what do you think this is? A mutant cat or a cat in a costume? This diver just looked at death in the face, and I mean literally. She had strapped on her diving suit and was a second away from jumping into the sea when she spotted a huge creature emerging from the water. She backed down and moved backwards, only to see a huge shark with its mouth wide open waiting for her to jump right in. Thankfully, quick thinking and a sixth sense saved her from going on an involuntary shark date. It's like a real-life thriller, a diver who dodged Jaws. Note to self, sometimes it's okay to bail on that daring dive if your gut says, no, well, yeah, maybe not today. Our next footage is one of the reasons why we shouldn't mess around in the woods. This video was taken by an adventurer who went into the woods at night. I don't know about the reason why he did this, but I'm sure he's never going near the forest for a while. As he was roaming, he caught sight of this hideous creature in the woods. The creature had strange burnt-like skin. Its fingers were clawed and its ears were pointed. I don't know, but if you ask me, it looks like some sort of demonic dwarf. Naturally, our adventurer who saw this creature did not waste any more time there. He left as fast as his tired legs would allow him. I mean, who knows what else was roaming the woods, and who knows what their response to his presence could be. Either way, does any of you know with certainty what this is, or do I need to hit the paranormal books? While exploring the waters, someone stumbled upon these two intriguing fish. They were pitch black and had a peculiar growth on their head that resembled a brain. Wondering what this fish could be? Well, these little guys are called the black Oranda goldfish, and the brain-like growth on their head is called a fleshy wen, which is a characteristic feature of this fish species. These magnificent beings are a highly sought-after variety of goldfish that have a distinct charm due to their black coloration and unique head growth. The black Oranda goldfish is renowned for its gentle and peaceful nature and has become a beloved pet of many aquarium enthusiasts. On second thought, I think this is slightly different from the black Oranda goldfish. Have any of you owned or seen one? What do you think? Remember my talk about living in a simulation with glitches? Well, here's another. The clip starts off like your everyday not-so-extraordinary clip. A few seconds in, and it becomes apparent that things just don't add up. First off, not all the animals have shadows, and as the pups are playing, one runs into another one of the pups and just disappears on impact. It's almost as though it was being absorbed, which should not be possible. I'm not a science genius, but I'm pretty sure that's not how physics works. Anyways, what's your take on this? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Next, there's more mysterious action, but this time it's in a parking lot. Someone notices a strange creature running fast behind a car like it's on a mission. As it rushes, it goes straight for cover under another vehicle. When you take a closer look and slow down the footage, the mysterious being becomes clear. A yellow, small creature with a humanoid body. It clearly looks alien. The creature's purposeful actions, like choosing to hide under another car, hint at a level of intelligence and intentionality not commonly seen in regular wildlife behavior. What's interesting is that the creature seems to know the person is coming, showing a sense of caution or maybe a wish to stay out of sight. Interesting, don't you think? These strange creatures were captured in an abandoned shed in the woods. I know they look alien, but these are barn owls. Barn owls, Tyto alba, as they're also known in science, are medium-sized owls known for their unique appearance and wide distribution. They have a heart-shaped facial disc that helps them hear better. These owls live in various places like grasslands, farms, and open woodlands, and are often found near farms and barns, which is the reason for their names. Now, these barn owls, with their 2 feet firmly planted on the ground, do cut a rather unique figure. From a certain angle, one might even wonder if we've stumbled upon intergalactic species practicing their synchronized standing routine. I'm quite sure a lot of people have mistaken them to be aliens. Confession, I used to be one, but don't judge me, okay? I changed and I grew, and now I know their name. While sitting at the edge of a swamp, an observer noticed a peculiar creature emerging from beneath the surface. At first, the creature was difficult to make out, but as the observer zoomed in, they could see that it had 2 long fangs protruding out of its mouth, making it look like the sharp teeth of a saber-toothed tiger. The creature swam with ease, effortlessly moving through the water and making hardly a sound. Its face had a menacing look that could give you nightmares for years. What kind of creature could this be?
What the hell?
Just as we got the pride blanket out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
It's for pride.
In this intriguing footage, a group of people captured a fascinating patch of clouds in the sky. The clouds were colorful and rainbow-hued, which made for a striking sight. It was a unique and beautiful phenomenon that left many people in awe. The cause of this phenomenon, however, remains a mystery, and naturally, there have been several theories trying to point out and explain what may have caused it. Some speculation that the rainbow-colored clouds could be a result of chemical pollutants in the sky, which could reflect the light uniquely. Other experts suggest that this could be a natural occurrence caused by the refraction of sunlight through ice crystals in the clouds. Regardless of the cause, this rainbow-colored cloud formation in the sky is an impressive sight to behold. Wouldn't you agree?
That is amazing. The gays are jumping out.
Take a look at this image. A female Anomalies spider and a nest of children spotted in Malaysia. Just look at how many babies there are. Anomalies spiders, also known as tarantulas, are notable for their often striking colors and intricate web structures. Female tarantulas are generally larger than males, and they are known to create silk nests or burrows to protect their offspring. Once the spiderlings hatch, they stay close to the mother for a period, just like in the picture, before venturing out on their own. Female tarantulas invest considerable energy into producing a large number of offspring, although not all of them may survive to adulthood. If you walked into a site like this, what would your reaction be? Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a big tarantula after you now, would you? Now let me take you to the mysterious streets of Bosnia, Europe, where a late-night drive turned into an otherworldly encounter. A group of people were cruising through the silent streets, the hum of the engine cutting through the quiet night. Suddenly, they brought the car to a halt. But why? Well, it was because of this. Hundreds of birds standing on the road. Now, it's not your usual feathered flock either. These birds seem to have organized a street takeover. No cars in sight, just the road filled with birds leisurely strolling and others standing, fixating their gaze on the approaching vehicle. What were the birds doing there congregating in the dead of night, and why were they settled on the ground? Is there a reason they chose to abandon the high grounds? If any of you have answers, please share them in the comments section. While on a plane, someone filmed the sun setting. Take a good look at it and you'll realize it's not at all very normal. To start with, the sun was pink, which is a sight to behold. It's quite common for the sun to appear pink or even red during a sunset. This happens because the Earth's atmosphere acts as a filter, scattering the blue and green wavelengths of light and allowing the longer wavelengths like red and pink to pass through more easily. The colors you see during sunset can vary depending on the location, weather, and time of year. For example, if there are a lot of pollutants or dust particles in the air, the sun may appear more orange or even brown. And during the winter months, the sun can appear more pink or purple as the angle of the Earth's tilt changes and affects the way the sun's light passes through the atmosphere. While the color is an interesting one, you must agree that the sun sets in a rather unconventional way. It's almost as though it's disappearing into the Earth. What do you guys make of that? Take a look at this video and share your thoughts on what you see. The footage shows an intriguing sight that has sparked a lot of debate. At first glance, it appears to be something wriggling on the surface of the water, but upon closer examination, it becomes clear that this mysterious object has wings that are flapping as it hovers just above the water before taking off to perch on a nearby tree. The object in question is white and long, and it's unclear what it could be. Some people believe it's a small bird that's gotten tangled up in plastic, while others suggest it might be a rubber worm. However, the fact that it can fly seems to rule out the latter option. Another theory is that the object is a bird that has just captured something from the water. It's fascinating to see how people are interpreting this video in different ways. What are your thoughts on what this object could be? Kangaroos are such bullies in wildlife. They will just grab onto anything that comes toward them. Take a look at the situation here. A man went out with his 3 dogs when he realized one was missing. He went searching for it when he spotted it in the river under the tight grip of a kangaroo. He held onto the dog's neck so tightly in the water that the dog was getting out of breath. Luckily, the owner came right on time to rescue his pet, but not after his phone got smacked into the water and the kangaroo attempted to attack him as well. But he did come out safely with all 3 dogs, except for one panting for breath, and the owner ended up with a few scratches from the kangaroo's claws. What a man thought would be some quality bonding time with his son ended with them running out of the woods in terror. This man had gone walking with his little boy in the woods. As they had settled in an area just enjoying nature, the man heard some footsteps behind him, so he took out his camera and started looking around. That is when he caught a glimpse of a dark figure feet away from them. The man didn't see what it was, but something in him just told him to get the hell out of there. Without wasting time, he told his son to start running while he followed behind. They ran for a while and came to a stop. When he looked back, he saw that the dark figure was still after them, but luckily they had put a safe distance between them and it. To this day, no one knows what was there, but the man's instincts proved that whatever it was not safe to be around it. The deep sea is one of the most unexplored and mysterious places on Earth. Recently, a deep-sea camera captured footage of a black, gooey creature at a depth of 6,000 feet. The footage has left scientists and oceanographers puzzled as they're unable to identify the creature and properly understand its characteristics. The creature appears to be a black, gooey blob with no discernible features or appendages. Some speculate that it could be a type of deep-sea jellyfish or a new species altogether. However, without more information, it's difficult to draw any conclusions. One of the main concerns about this creature is whether it poses any danger to humans or other sea creatures, since there is not much information on it. Have you seen anything like this? Care to share your experience? Have you ever been in a situation where you feel like someone or something is watching you? It's a very unsettling feeling that can leave you feeling uneasy and uncomfortable. Now, imagine looking through a broken wall and finding a pair of eyes staring directly at you. The sense of unease and discomfort would be amplified even further. Someone found this eye looking back at them through a wall. It's difficult to determine what kind of creature could be behind this eye. Is it a normal animal or a cryptid that is yet to be discovered? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Nature's throwing us another curveball, and this time it's ants staging a weird forest dance. Imagine stumbling upon this oddity in the heart of the woods, a bunch of ants locked in a mysterious circle, all hustling around a peculiar white stone. Now, animals are like Mother Nature's early warning system, right? So when you spot ants behaving like they just discovered the insect version of a dance floor, it's bound to raise some eyebrows. They're all in this circular hustle, seemingly fixated on a white stone at the center, and there's the strange white fluid on the grass, adding an extra layer of intrigue. What's the deal, Mother Nature? Is this an ant rave or a secret insect council meeting? Are they summoning ant deities, or is it just an oddly organized ant picnic? Imagine buying a pet turtle and coming home one day to see it floating above your tiled floor. What on earth is this, and are animals now learning spells too? If you look closely around its legs, you may see what looks like rags holding them. But look again. Do you see it now? They look like mini humans swimming with it. Are these the beings responsible for the strange things that we are seeing? Or is the turtle their master and they're simply there to do what it desires? It's hard to say, and we couldn't find anything of this sort in our paranormal books. Can anyone amongst you help us with any explanation? There has been a recent sighting of a perplexing entity in the sky. According to eyewitnesses, the entity initially appeared as a tiny dot in the sky. After a closer examination of the recorded footage, they realized it transformed into an unusual and intriguing shape. The shape of this entity sparked discussions among various groups, with some speculating that it could be an angel. This speculation is based on the descriptions of angels in the Bible, which some thought had a similar appearance to this entity. However, there is no concrete evidence to support this claim, and the true nature of the entity remains a mystery. What do you think of it? This fascinating video has been circulating online, showcasing a peculiar object floating in the sky. The object, which is unlike anything seen before, has sparked a great deal of curiosity among viewers. Some people believe that it could be an interdimensional entity visiting our world, while others argue that it's simply a piece of debris floating in the sky. The video has prompted a lot of debate, with people from all over the world trying to decipher what the object could be. It's a mystery that is yet to be solved, and the possibilities are endless. What are your thoughts on this matter? Next, let's journey to Ghana, where we meet Abdul Samed, a man standing at an impressive 9 feet tall. Born in 1994 in the northern region of Ghana, Abdul Samed's towering stature is attributed to the endocrine disorder acromegaly. This condition arises from an excess of growth hormone in the body. Now, ponder with me for a moment. Here's a living giant amidst us, and reports of individuals with extraordinary heights echo from various corners of the globe. Could these individuals be descendants or, in some way, connected to the mythical giants that have captured our curiosity? Or is it really nothing more than just an endocrine disorder as stated earlier? Share your thoughts. Speaking of aliens, let's dive into this intriguing encounter. On the eerie night of September the 22nd, 2004, in the quiet halls of an abandoned office in Rayon, Nuevo Leon, a diligent security guard with a trusty Kodak DX4530 camera embarked on a routine patrol, ensuring that all was calm in the deserted workspace. The guard had no clue that the calm he was enjoying that night was about to be disrupted. As he wandered through the dimly lit corridors, a sudden chill ran down his spine. There, in the pale glow of his flashlight, stood a bug-eyed alien. The extraterrestrial visitor possessed the unmistakable features of popular lore: a huge head, black eyes, and a pale humanoid body. As soon as he managed to take a picture of the creature, it fled, leaving the security shocked with nothing but his picture to show of the encounter. What would you have done in such a situation? While peering through a clear glass window, a woman noticed something peculiar in the water. She decided to get a closer look and zoomed in with a camera. To her surprise, a group of men were sitting on a table seemingly in the middle of the sea.
Представляете, люди готовятся на ифтар под водой.
The sight is baffling. How could such a thing be possible? Some people have suggested that it might be a reflection from the room on the glass window, but this raises more questions than it answers. How could a reflection in a room create such a convincing illusion of men sitting on a table in the sea? Kindly hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Doing so lets you stay updated and allows us to create more videos for you. Thanks for doing so. Now, let's continue with the day's episode. Have you ever come across a rather large bird that appears to be tied up after being prepared? If your answer was no, you might wonder what this is and why it's being prepared in such a way. Upon closer inspection, it looks as though the bird is being drained of blood before being cooked. The size of the bird is quite remarkable, as it's much larger than a typical turkey. Some people speculate that it might be an ostrich due to its size and appearance, but it's difficult to say for sure. Others think it's some goat-bird hybrid, but that doesn't add up. An ostrich sounds more believable at this point. But I'll let you guys decide on this one. What do you think this mysterious bird could be? What in the world is this? A woman was seen walking hand in hand with a black-skinned humanoid creature with white eyes, scant hair, and two tiny horns perched on its head. This petite creature is more of a supernatural sidekick than a typical 6-year-old. Given the lack of alarm from people in the background, this must be a person in a costume or makeup, perhaps for a planned event, possibly for entertainment, art, or a specific theme. Events like costume parties, theatrical shows, or artistic performances often showcase elaborate and realistic outfits that can generate a mix of fear and fascination because of how lifelike and haunting they present. For a minute, I thought we had to start getting an exorcist. Thankfully, we don't. El Nino is safe. What would you do if you spotted this large spider in your home? This footage was taken from a home in Trinidad and Tobago. Most people say this is a Goliath bird-eater, and Julius seems to think it truly is. For those like myself who were unfamiliar with it, the Goliath bird-eater is among the world's largest spider species from the rainforests of South America. These spiders are known for their impressive size, with adult females growing their legs up to 30 centimeters. Despite their name, they mostly dine on invertebrates, occasionally capturing small birds, but not making it a regular part of their diet. If this is truly a Goliath bird-eater in a Trinidad and Tobago home, it's a bit unusual as these spiders aren't native to the place. Yet the exotic pet trade has introduced various spider species to places where they wouldn't naturally be found. This footage was taken in Michigan this year and had been kept under wraps until the recent events in the USA, if you know what I mean. A man was taking a stroll when, out of nowhere, he noticed a flying disc in the sky. Looking at the discs, I guess we all have an idea what that might be. A UFO. Members of the paranormal scrutinized the crafts and were convinced that there was no way this was CGI. Frankly, there's not much to go on about. It's hard to confirm or disprove the fact. Some are convinced that the sightings have only increased since the confirmation by the US government because the aliens know they've been found out and are no longer interested in hiding. Frankly speaking, I find that hard to believe, but what do you think of the whole thing? Do you believe the sightings are real, or are people simply taking advantage to go viral? Share your thoughts. In the blackness of the night, engulfing the remote forest, did you see that creature suddenly appear and then disappear as it appeared? What does the scene bring to mind? Some who saw the footage believed it was Bigfoot, but a second group believed it was nothing more than a witch. The darkness makes it hard to discern what exactly we're looking at, but is it just me, or does it appear to be wearing a cloak more than it does appear to be having fur? Perhaps it's my eyes, or simply put, my active imagination at work, but I believe the uploader may have wrongly identified the cryptid he encountered. What do you think? The rate at which mythical creatures are making an appearance these days is alarming. In this footage, a man filmed two men in yellow protective gear from head to toe coming toward a river. The men were holding a net, but their attire was not something you would wear to a fishing trip unless something fishy was going on. So the person filming hid himself as he watched the men walk into the shallow part of the water to retrieve something. They caught it in the net and brought it to land. As they put the creature down, something curious happened. A long fishtail resembling that of a stereotypical mermaid fell down. Did these men just catch a mermaid? Looking at the color of its tail, I'm tempted to ask, what if the creature and things we saw in The Little Mermaid are not as unreal as we think they are? What if these creatures are actually out there and a danger to us? The woods seem to get more dangerous as the days go by, and even hiking alone has become a problem. I know you would be wondering why I'm saying that. To answer, let's take a look at this next clip. Out in the woods, a hiker found himself lost and trying to navigate his way back when he noticed something approaching. Assuming it was a panther, he decided to hide. However, as the creature drew nearer, it turned out to be something even more perplexing. The creature had a face that resembled a dog, a long snout and dark fur. What made it peculiar was its posture. It was standing on its hind legs. Lucky it seemed preoccupied and didn't notice the hiker just a few steps away. What type of creature could that be? Naturally, a dog, man, or a werewolf comes to mind. This fortunate hiker went out innocently for a walk, but for his keen observation skills, he would never have returned home. And that leaves us asking one simple question. Are we not safe hiking anymore? If you thought the first Skinwalker scream was serious, you might want to listen to this. What you are seeing on your screen is a camera situated in the top corner of a house to take footage of individuals or creatures that might walk by. On this night, however, shrill and nerve-chilling sounds were heard with no creature in sight. The owner of the camera hoped the camera might have picked it up, but to her surprise, there was nothing. There was not a glimpse or shadow of whatever was making those sounds in the camera. The camera, however, picks up the shrill screams. What creature could be making such a sound, and why so late in the evening? Did it stop because it found its victim? While we're unable to directly tackle those questions, the paranormal community believes we may have a skinwalker on our hands. If we know anything about skinwalkers, it's that the closer they are, the further they sound. Was the creature hoping the homeowner would at some point step out to satisfy his curiosity so it could jump in and assuage his cravings for human meat? While that sounds like the probable situation, it's hard to say for sure. What would you do if you were the one? Would you have stepped out or would you have remained indoors? Tell us in the comments section. This could be anything, but what exactly? This footage certainly isn't giving away enough detail. At first glance, the creature may pass off as a gorilla, but at a second glance, and it will look like a ginormous spider. Upon closer inspection, it becomes apparent that it's neither of these things, leaving rooms for something far more disturbing. The shaky camera suggests the presence of a man clearly spooked by the sight before him. He likely feels like helpless prey caught in the pierce of a gaze of a predator. Despite the creature appearing to approach the man, he miraculously manages to upload this video online. Either he took it down to save himself from being ripped to shreds, or this whole thing is just a stunt for views and a fleeting taste of fame. What do you think the situation really is? A man captured something strange going on outside his house on his security camera. It all began when he spotted a dark figure standing in the middle of the road opposite his house. This dark figure looks like a person on a black road. As this stranger stood there facing the house, a car light began to reflect, indicating that a car was approaching. Naturally, he expected the strange person to get off the road, but the person just stood there unmoving until something bizarre happened. The car passed right through it, making the homeowner alarmed. However, the dark figure was still in place. Disturbed by what he'd seen, the homeowner came out to see for himself, which he figured was still there. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately, as soon as he steps out, the entity disappears. If it had not been caught on camera, no one would believe him. A Trailcam owner was startled when he came across an image on his device. Not knowing what it was, he posted the image to Facebook, hoping to get the opinion of others. The picture in question is this image that you see on your screen. You can see a dog-like creature standing on its two legs. The creature had a pair of eerily glowing eyes and was staring straight into the camera. Facebook users were left with a flood of theories on what this could be. While others held the notion that it was a dog man, others said this could be a possessed canine, and some truly believed it was a goblin of sorts. So what do you guys also think this is? Many vast lands have gone to waste and don't seem to be wanted for keeps either, and the one in the next footage is no exception. The video showcases extensive plots of land marked with soil uplifts and incomplete grazing activities. Among the trees stands a figure dressed in stark white attire, so blindingly white that it's impossible to overlook. It remains stationary, its towering height standing out. Beyond its stature, little can be discerned about its other physical attributes. There's a belief that it might be connected to the numerous murder cases documented in the area. Some even suggest it's the spirit of one of the victims killed in the area. Looking at it, however, I believe there's more to the story than we're being let in on. Instead of a lost spirit, I'd want us to consider another possibility. It's a witch. If that's a far stretch, then possibly a member of a secret cult operating in the area. Before you dismiss it, take a good look at the figure in the footage. Do you not see that there's something ominous with it? Well, looks like the webbed tree is not the only shocker for the day. Check out this footage. This footage was captured by a crew of loggers who were cutting down some oaks in the Alabama woodlands. They had done this so many times that it had almost become second nature to them. They always knew what to expect and how to navigate them. But what you see on your screen is not something they anticipated. If you're wondering what you're seeing, allow me to put you out of that stress. The creature you see on your screen is nothing more than a mummified dog. There's no telling how it ended up there, but we can make some intelligent guesses. The poor canine probably wandered into the woods chasing a rabbit and got stuck in the tree trunk. It couldn't wiggle itself out of the tree and ended up starving to death. No matter how you look at it, that's a horrible way to go, but instead of decaying, the tree preserved its body. This discovery got the world talking, and the mummified dog was put in a museum and named Stucky. Fascinating, isn't it? Now, which one of you knows which museum the dog was placed in? Tell us in the comments section. This security camera footage captures a peculiar moment as a glowing orb emerges from the woods, floats across the camera lens, and continues its journey into the distance. Unlike a conventional fire, the distinct characteristics of the glowing orb are evident in the footage. Such unexplained phenomena often lead to speculation and varied interpretations. The mystery surrounding glowing orbs has fueled discussions ranging from natural atmospheric occurrences to paranormal and extraterrestrial possibilities. What are your thoughts on this intriguing footage, a natural phenomenon, or perhaps a glimpse into the realm of the unexplained? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Back on the topic of giants, a giant three-fingered hand was found in late 2016 in a Peruvian desert tunnel. While some believe it could be a hoax, a physician's report states that the hand is biological and composed of skin and bone. X-ray images uncovered 6 bones in each finger, coupled with experts approximating the owner's height to be between 2.7 and 3 meters. This means that the finger does not match any recognized earthly being. So what could we be dealing with? To solve this mystery, radiocarbon and DNA tests will be performed to give a scientific spotlight on this perplexing hand. Until then, we can only speculate. What do you think they'll discover after this test? Alien giants or another species of advanced humans that used to live on Earth? Tell us what you think. For this next Trailcam capture, it's hard to think or even imagine what it is. The capture seems to have originated from a Trailcam situated in the heart of some remote woods. The creature in the footage seems to have a beak, some elongated arms, and small feet attached to the rest of its body. It looks like some weird creation out of a cartoon. It reminds us of Sid from Ice Age, but this time with a beak instead of a mouth. There are no known paranormal creatures that fit this description, and a quick search on Google Images reveals nothing. What do you think it is? An otherworldly creature? The creation of some scientific experiment gone wrong? A previously unknown animal species, or something more? It's hard to say, so hard that some in the paranormal community are convinced it has to be a fake. But what do you think? Why opt for an easy life when you can choose a harder path? If you think that makes no sense, clearly you haven't met the raccoon in the image. Instead of using the normal path in the soil like everyone else, the raccoon chooses to use the wire. It's hard to know if he was exercising or preparing for some competition, but whatever the case might have been, it looks like it's holding on for dear life on the wires. No one knows how or why, but from the image, it's evident that this is a battle that will not be ending anytime soon, as it's not letting go. Brings to mind those scenes from cartoons where, after being stressed for too long, inanimate objects like the wire come to life and scold the characters for holding on too long. Although it's unlikely the wire will scold and ask him to let go, I believe when it's done having the time of its life and its arms are tired, it will let go. But what do you say?
Porque María vivió eso una vez menos, eso se lleva todo.
Y ya le una bronca, y yo ya le Marisa se me perdieron porque yo estaba por fuera y no las encontraba.
In this footage, we have strange-looking blue clouds that have formed some sort of tunnel to the Earth. This looks so strange. Some suggest it could be a portal, a gateway for extraterrestrials to make their grand entrance on Earth. Others raise the possibility of advanced alien technology at play, turning the sky into a canvas of celestial wonder. What's your perspective on this celestial display? A unique atmospheric event, or perhaps a glimpse into the realm of extraterrestrial mysteries? Ever heard of the giants or Nephilim that used to live on Earth before we came? At least, that is what some people believe, and some archaeologists have found remains of suspected giants.
A la entrada de la mina como si nos estuvieran cuidando. Miren.
Well, someone noticed this person standing at the edge of the mountain. We cannot see the person clearly because the sun is setting, but you could make out the obvious silhouette of a human, perhaps a man. The owner of the footage believes that it's a giant because looking at the distance of the mountaintop and the size of the person standing there, this person must be very huge. What are your thoughts on this? A potential glimpse at a colossal human, or perhaps a play of shadows creating the illusion of a giant? The mystique of Bigfoot continues. In the world of cryptids and enigmatic creatures, Bigfoot, or Sasquatch, holds a special place, and this image adds another layer to the enduring mystery. The footage opens us up to a forest where we've got some dense bushes, and there, right in the midst of it all, is a figure with brown fur with its back turned to the camera. Now the speculation begins. Some adventurous souls suggest that what we are seeing here is none other than the elusive Sasquatch crouched down on the ground. After all, these creatures are known for their significant size. But wait, there's a twist in the tale. This particular one is much smaller compared to what our expectation of a Sasquatch is. Some members of the paranormal community have suggested that the footage might not be a Bigfoot at all. Instead, they've suggested it might be a rare capture of the monkey people, an entirely different species of cryptid. Are you familiar with these species, or do we need to do a special episode on them? Tell us if you'd want that in the comments section. We'd be reading. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe buttons yet, this would be a good time to do so. We've got so much content in store for you, and we wouldn't want you to miss any. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Now, back to today's episode. It's unknown where exactly this was captured, but let's stick to the obvious. Amidst a densely remote forest, which appears like an area rarely frequented by people, with tall, bare trees standing without leaves. In this very area, though, stands a figure, defying the known essence of these woods. A woman of uncertain age, hair deeply parted to the left, much like my vantage point. She dons a blue top under a lengthy coral pink jacket adorned with black stripe-like patterns. By all standards, this image should be fine, but no, it's rather unsettling. She stands in a weird posture, wearing a face and look that can only be described as sinister. A video clip would have presented it with greater clarity. Her face, ghostly pale, resembles a mask akin to Pennywise from the film It, as if she's possessed by a malevolent spirit. But why? She looks like an innocent young girl with a future much brighter than the contrast in that photo. Or is that what the spirit in her wants me to think? Well, I don't know anymore. It might as well be a hoax, meaning I'm simply thinking too much of it. But what do you think? Whilst we try to find answers to the previous footage, I believe that the next footage will leave your jaw dropping to the ground. And I mean literally. A person found these strange things floating around his brother's house. They looked like smoke, but they were oddly luminous and in weird shapes. The thing, however, is that they seemed like they were frozen in time, and you and I know that's not how smoke looks or functions. According to him, they suddenly appeared in the house. When you study the footage, there's no justification for something like that existing. The man swears it's not a hoax and certainly not CGI because they don't have the expertise, skills, or money for that. So what do you think we're dealing with here? A taxi driver was parked on the side of the road when something scares him out of his car. Initially, he was making a phone call when he saw something in the rearview mirror moving behind him. Being the only one in the car, he quickly turned to look at what it was, and there he saw his answer, the ghostly face of a child looking back at him. The face was pale and had dark circles around its eyes. Once he saw what he saw, the scared man rushed out of the car. Fortunately, or not, the security camera in the car was on, so it captured the ghostly intruder. When he finally mustered the courage to go back to the vehicle, he reviewed the footage and asked the paranormal experts online for clarity. So what do you think? Stepping away from the cryptids, we have this trail camera footage that not only captures a deer, but floating orbs as well. These orbs have long been associated with the presence of spirit beings and have been on the rise recently. Some in the paranormal community have associated the appearance of these orbs with the presence of aliens on Earth. No one knows when they appear or disappear or why they do so. Whenever they're caught on trail cams, some seem to be floating around, whereas others are static. The ones in this footage look static, although many are convinced it's another sign of paranormal activity. Frankly, my team and I do not see it. This could also just be nothing but a reflection on the lens of a trail cam. But if you've been on the channel for long, you know not everything can be played off as normal. After all, if there is proof of Bigfoot, then these orbs could also be something otherworldly. But what do you think? This homeowner hears weird noises in his backyard, and so he decided to set his trail cam to see what it was, but he was not prepared for what he saw. A dark entity in the bushes, lurking with glowing eyes. This creature doesn't look like a monkey or any other small animal from the wild. It gives off this creepy and eerie feeling, as though it were some kind of dream monster. The creature didn't come out of the darkness, but just appeared in view and left, almost as if it knew it was being filmed and looking for an opportune moment to show itself or attack. After this encounter, however, it didn't pop up on the trail cam for days until it returned with a vengeance. This time, it destroyed the fence of the homeowners as though it was trying to come in but didn't yet have the power to do so. The owners were awake during the ordeal and watched it unfold before their eyes. Once it left, they revisited their CCTV footage to make sure their eyes did not deceive them. You can't imagine how they felt once they realized that it was all real. One question remains, though. What is that creature? Could it be a rake or a skinwalker? If it's any of those, why is it trying to break into their home? Did they do something to offend it? So many questions, yet no answers. All right, hold up. Are we witnessing the return of medieval shenanigans or what? Forget humans wrestling humans. Apparently, we're going back to the days when folks grappled with bears for kicks. Two beings, one human, one bear, having what seems like the weirdest playdate ever. And get this, they both look like they were having a blast. It's like a bizarre version of Fight Club, where the first rule is apparently have fun. Now, call me crazy, but I thought we'd moved on from wrestling with bears. Wasn't that a thing in medieval times when boredom levels were off the charts? But here we are in the 21st century with what looks like a bear-human wrestling match for sheer amusement. I guess we've not seen it all yet. Though I don't approve, you have to admit it's impressive that the man was able to hold the weight of the creature as long as he did. Once again, we're faced with a spectacle that leaves us questioning Mother Nature. A boat that set sail to catch fish came across a mysterious passenger. This invited passenger came disguised as a catfish, but when one of the men aboard went poking at it, this so-called catfish, instead of fins, had crab claws. Realizing this is not a typical member of the ocean dwellers, the man decided to push the fish back into the water. But it looked like it actually enjoyed being out of the water and wanted to teach the man a lesson or two before going back. Now the question is, what type of fish are we dealing with here? I mean, it's not every day you see a fish with crab claws for fins, so how is this even possible? Unless this is a species on its own or a mudfish and a crab interbred, I don't know what the logical explanation for this could be. Do you? Speaking of Bigfoot, a 12-year-old boy saw a Yeti on a camping trip in the Kemerovo Mountains in Siberia. The Kemerovo Mountains in Siberia are renowned as a hotspot for Yeti sightings. The young boy said he was taking a morning walk with some of the kids when he spotted the magnificent creature with brown fur and brown eyes like a human. Following the boy's sighting, the campers stumbled upon tracks left by the mysterious creature near the campsite. Strangely, no one heard anything unusual during the time the creature was presumed to have passed by. The tracks of the creature were double the size of an adult human's, pointing to the fact that the boy's account was true. He really saw a Bigfoot. Such a lucky kid. Next, we have a rather bizarre capture from a Trailcam, if I do say so myself. Have a look. The captured footage unveils a landscape teeming with lush trees and verdant grass enveloping the expansive terrain. In the capture, we see what looks like a shadowy figure moving through the environment. Its form and shape change as it moves, almost as though it's trying to materialize from another plane. Is that even a logical thing to say? Well, if you asked me some months ago before the start of this channel, I would have said yes, but looking at all the things we have encountered up to date, I guess not. Only one question remains, however. Is it authentic? Now, that's a question that's hard to answer. A part of me thinks this could be real, but then again, another part of me knows AI is capable of producing images as photorealistic as this. So I ask you, what do you think is happening in this Trailcam capture? Step into the eerie tale of Church Woods, UK, where in the chilling grasp of November 2011, a photo surfaced unveiling a spectral figure of a lady. The ghostly lady in question appears to be wearing a hat. According to the owner of the image, there was no one smoking or vaping around, and before you reach for your skepticism, the image is also said to be 100% original and untouched after being reviewed. This means that there's no digital trickery involved. Images like this make you ponder the existence of the supernatural. What's your interpretation of this ghostly apparition in Church Woods? A genuine paranormal encounter, or perhaps an optical illusion with a spooky twist? This trail camera image reveals what appears to be an alien creature in the middle of the woods, adding to the growing list of reported alien sightings around the world. The intrigue and curiosity surrounding such phenomena have become increasingly commonplace, with stories of extraterrestrial encounters becoming a familiar part of the global narrative. The image prompts contemplation on the possibility of otherworldly beings making appearances in our midst. While skeptics may attribute such sightings to various factors, the allure of the unknown continues to captivate those fascinated by mysteries beyond our understanding. What do you think of this capture, though? A potential glimpse into the realm of extraterrestrial existence, or another hoax meant to mock us, the believers in the paranormal? Speaking of illusions, this footage recorded by a sailor at sea might genuinely leave you spooked. In the footage, we see a young man at sea calling out to something in the waters. Oddly enough, any time he makes these calls, he gets a response.
Hear me! Yo, that shit was instantaneous, bro!
It started with one side of the sea and then both sides, as though there was a creature alternating between them.
Where are you? Oh, that's over here. Wait, no, now it's there.
Whatever it was, it kept responding to the young man's calls of, "Can you hear me? Is there anyone out there?" Despite the odd responses, he calls out with laughs in between. Wanting to find whatever it is, he draws closer and calls out several times. Whatever it is that's responding, it looks like it wants him to draw closer to the edges of the boat. Part of me feels that it wants to drown him, something reminiscent of the sirens or mermaids who used to draw sailors to their deaths. Could it be that these are the creatures responsible for it, or is he merely encountering ghosts of pirates and other sea sailors who may have met their doom at sea? Well, it's hard to say, but perhaps we could involve Mystery Incorporated. After all, Scooby-Doo and his human friends have never met a case they couldn't solve. Beneath the streets of Paris lies a labyrinth of tunnels known as the Catacombs, an eerie underworld of mystery and darkness. In one of these tunnels, a camera was discovered, its tape capturing eerie footage, but the person behind the recording is nowhere to be seen. Watch the footage from the camera. As the footage plays, we witness the man hastening his steps, an unmistakable sense of unease emanating from his actions. The beginnings of the video seem unremarkable, but what catches our attention is when the recorder suddenly starts running. Abandoning the camera without a second glance and vanishing into the depths of the shadows. Enter Francis Friedman, an intrepid explorer and his team who embark on a daring quest to locate the enigmatic missing man within the treacherous tunnels. They find it difficult to enter legally because authorities have sealed off the tunnels, so they decide to do so illegally. Equipped with a meticulously prepared map and illuminating flashlights to pierce the darkness, they descend into the depths to initiate their search. Despite hours of relentless searching, they discover no trace of the man, leading them to a chilling conclusion. He's likely lost within the catacombs, or perhaps something far more sinister has befallen him. Pondering the situation, one can't help but wonder, what could the man have stumbled upon in those depths to evoke such terror? Could mysterious creatures be lurking in the catacombs, and should the city of Paris be concerned about what lies beneath its streets? Although we may never uncover the truth behind these mysteries, one thing remains clear. Residents living near the catacomb entrances must exercise utmost caution. At least, that's what we think. What about you? Now, over the years, science has brought about many innovations and inventions, some to battle diseases and come up with new technology. Here we have a news report that says the doctors have come up with the first head transplant. This would take a series of processes to make this successful, and will last for 36 hours and a total of 10 medical staff to get this done. It starts from freezing the body and heads to a specific temperature to prevent it from dying. Then decapitation is done, but they start first with the neck, and when it comes to the spinal cord, they use a special tool made of diamond to curb any damage to be caused. Now the severed head will be taken to its new body, where they attach the esophagus with a special glue. The other vessels are also attached, and a plastic surgeon comes to attach the skin. After this, the body is put into a 4-week induced coma for the rest of everything to heal completely. Everything seems so well planned, but the question is, who is volunteering to do that? I would love to see it, but it looks like such a scary thing to go through. Is this something you could see yourself doing? Tell us in the comment section. A hospice nurse is the owner of this photograph. As one of her patients neared her demise, the patient said she was sensing something in the room with her. She was given a small camera to help her try and capture what she was sensing and seeing. When the photo was developed, this is what appeared. A luminous entity in the darkness. It looks like a humanoid being with wings. The nurse believed that the patient was seeing her guardian angel coming for her. What are your thoughts on this? Now let's move to the sea. With about 5% of the sea explored, we aren't certain of all the creatures, both big and small, that live in it. But why does that matter? For an answer, watch this footage. There in the middle of the ocean, a horned creature emerges from the depth. The creature resembles a dragon, and you can't help but wonder how that's even possible. You see it too, right? A supposed creature of the sea no one has seen. As expected, we did a thorough scrutiny of the footage and realized that the thing was not real in any way. It's just some good CGI. When I first saw the footage, it got me thinking that humanity was doomed. But thank God there's no cause for alarm and it's not real. Or is it? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Moving away from Bigfoot, yet remaining in the strange and mysterious, let's take a look at this strange footage from a Trailcam situated in the heart of the forest. In the footage, you can see the stillness of the night being disturbed by a blurry image moving from a distance toward the camera. As the movement gets closer, you realize that it's some kind of pale head shrouded in a dark cloth. The figure appears to be tightly wrapped in dark cloth, which brings to mind a mummy. What or who could this be? Could it be a peculiar person engaged in a ritual, or perhaps an elusive entity wandering the forest? It's hard to say. There's also the possibility of it simply being an elaborate hoax. Which of these possibilities are you more inclined to lean towards? Tell us in the comments section. There are theories that before the human race, there were beings that roamed the earth, some half human and half animal. These beings were later worshipped as gods on earth. So when scientists discovered this mummy locked in a box in a Japanese temple, they were curious to find out what this creature could be. Obviously, they could see that the creature was half human and half fish. But how? Despite probing and researching and asking questions, they can't find any scientific basis for the existence of this creature. This leaves us with questions. Could it be a spiritual being materialized, which is why they can't find anything on it, or are we looking at an elaborate hoax passed down for centuries? Well, no one knows for sure. Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos like this for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. I know what you're thinking. What in the world of bird mysteries is happening here? Is this some kind of funky pigeon mutation or what? Turns out this wild-looking bird goes by the name the Dutch cropper. This flamboyant bird isn't just a looker, it's got some fascinating features. A medium-sized pigeon with an elongated body, a graceful arched neck, and the head held high like it's in a perpetual state of pride. When it's feeling extra fancy or trying to impress its bird buddies, it inflates this special bladder, adding a touch of charm to its already striking appearance, as we can see right under its beak. They're known to be the largest fancy pigeon breed in the Netherlands, and like the royalty of the pigeon world, strutting around with their own built-in regal accessory. This is the kind of bird that adds a touch of glamour to the avian scene. Stepping away from the paranormal, we have this trail camera that was captured somewhere in the woods of Cameroon. In the trail cam, we witness in footage several gorillas circling an area. Believe it or not, these lively gorillas are an endangered species of gorilla. They're referred to as cross-river gorillas and could probably qualify as the least popular and least known of all the gorilla subspecies. With only 200 of their kind left on the entire planet, capturing footage of them in a community like this is a rare find of a rare and endangered species. The trail camera captures them in their natural environment, engaging in their daily activities, which I find fascinating. They might be in a serious family meeting to know who inherits the fruits, stems, and piths in the cave far north. As ridiculous as this might sound, it might be the case. Well, you never know. Now let's take a look at another trail cam capture that's suspected to feature yet another cryptid. The footage reveals a creature moving, or rather, hopping along a path in the woods. Although it's challenging to identify the creature based on the visible features, it appears to resemble an ape-like creature or something similar in appearance and gait. Taking a second look at the footage, you don't need to be a genius or know that the creature has to be pretty tall. One possibility is that it appears to be hopping due to a limited view we have, only capturing its shoulder movements. The uploader believes it's a Bigfoot, but without any more information, it's hard for us to agree or dispute the fact. What do you think, though? Is that a Bigfoot, or is this a case of an ape being mistaken for a cryptid? Tell us what you think. Our next clip was taken in the Congo. The clip features an interesting experiment where a small rock is connected to an LED light with wires, causing it to light up. In the next part of the clip, two larger rocks are brought together, creating sparks of electricity and fire. This experiment hints at the possibility of groundbreaking technology involving rocks that can generate electricity. The implications of this discovery are fascinating. This could mean potential for innovative applications and advancements. If rocks can produce electricity, it could lead to transformative effects in various fields, offering new opportunities for sustainable energy solutions. Sadly, though, I feel this isn't real. If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more videos like this for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. Oh my goodness, humanity is doomed. Just take a look at this footage. If you've not seen the movie Life, then you'll not understand why I'm panicking. This dark mass attempting to swallow the crab, and it reminds me of Calvin from the movie. I mean, it just looks the same. Fingers crossed that it's just a case of internet trickery, because if not, we might be looking at a real-life remake of Life, and that's a horror scenario none of us have signed up for. Naturally, I did some digging around and discovered that there's a possibility of it being a marine flatworm. If you don't know anything about these creatures, perhaps you may want to go back and look them up now before you find yourself exclaiming, "We are Venom!" On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps us out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you. Please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. In this next footage, we have a man who claims to own the body parts of a Bigfoot his father shot and killed years ago. According to him, the creature was so massive that they had no suitable space to preserve the entire body intact, so they resorted to cutting it into pieces for preservation. Here we can see him displaying the severed arm of the said Bigfoot. The arm, covered in brown fur, looks incredibly realistic. The palm looks human, but has this animalistic look to it, and it's very big. It's distinctly different from chimps, monkeys, or gorillas. Do you believe it is indeed the arm of a Bigfoot, or do you think it's simply a prop? We'd love to hear your take and thoughts. What do we have here? Behold, a hand fidgeting with a trail cam. You've heard curiosity killed the cat, but this hand's owner seems unfazed. As darkness cloaks the day and masks the identity, this hand doesn't exude fear. If anything, it screams for a manicure. Gnarled and unclipped nails, maybe even a stray hair or two. I mean, it looks like the hand of an unkempt hunter aiming for the headlines by activating the trail cam's infrared light. If that's not the scenario you had in mind, then I suspect Bigfoot took the spot, and I can't blame you. Considering the nails and gnarls, it makes sense after all, but this just screams fake. I'm sorry, a part of me wanted to believe it could be, but clearly it's not. It just seems too out of character for the big guy, but what do you think? Could it really be a Bigfoot looking for a potential hand model, or is this just a bad attempt to go viral with Bigfoot footage? Share your thoughts in the comments section, as we'd love to read it. This footage was taken in the middle of nowhere. There was a road tunnel built for trucks to go through. But hold on a second. As you can see, a truck drives into the tunnel. The video is zoomed out, and we don't see an exit for the tunnel. This brings up many questions. Where does this tunnel lead? Is it a part of an underground network connecting remote regions, or does it lead to a concealed facility that serves a specific function? An ominous function? I guess we'd never know. While on deep-sea research, divers captured this colossal creature lurking in the ocean depths. And what does this aquatic enigma resemble? None other than the famed Mosasaurus. For those unacquainted with prehistoric marine creatures, the Mosasaurus was a colossal aquatic reptile that once ruled the ancient seas. It lived during the late Cretaceous period, and its fossils have been discovered around the world. Now, fast forward to the present, and we find ourselves faced with the uncanny semblance of this long-extinct behemoth in the depths. It's crucial to acknowledge that the existence of a living Mosasaurus would challenge our current understanding of evolutionary timelines. Nevertheless, the ocean continues to be an area of continual exploration, harboring many species yet to be fully uncovered and comprehended. Next, we have this beautiful footage of a massive waterfall. As unassuming as this beautiful sight is, it soon takes the form of something from a horror movie. This person was having the time of his life while filming the waterfall. As he was looking around, he spotted this dark figure on a rock by the waterfall. Not knowing what it was, he zoomed in on the footage to see the figure, only to see some weird-looking beast standing at the edge of the waterfall. The creature appeared to have dark fur. It's very hard to make out its features because of the distance, but one thing is for sure. That thing is no ordinary animal. Whatever it is, though, we can't seem to make it out. Some members of the team think it's a poor attempt at making a hoax look real. But what do you think? For what it's worth, this is a photo of a deer captured on Trailcam with its tongue out. The photo depicts the deer in an open area far away from the deep woods, seemingly engrossed by something affixed to a tree while going about its business. Perhaps this serves as a playful reminder to hunters that capturing this elusive creature in real life may prove challenging, but they can still encounter its charm through technological means. Now that's what we call a deer with some serious attitude. Regardless of what thoughts were racing through the deer's mind, we can all agree it's an undeniably amusing and adorable photo. A security camera captured this strange encounter on the road. In the clip, a white car drives from the right side to the left and disappears. Did you see it? Take a look at it again. Did you see that? A ghost figure emerges from the left side approaching the car, but vanishes midway. Now let's entertain the skeptics who might chalk it up to a mere optical illusion or camera artifact, dismissing the possibility of a paranormal encounter. However, some believe that the translucent appearance and purposeful movement seem to defy mere optical illusions. As the ghostly person materializes and then dissipates, the footage leaves us to contemplate the thin veil that separates the realms of the living and the supernatural. What are your thoughts on this mysterious encounter? A ghostly apparition, an optical illusion, or something else? Take a look at this strange creature. It looks like some sort of bug, but instead of having legs, it uses tentacle-like appendages to propel itself forward. It's not your typical Earth critter, that's for sure. Now, I'm left wondering if we're dealing with some extraterrestrial visitor or if it's just a species we haven't stumbled upon yet. I want it to be an alien, but who knows? This could actually be some previously unknown animal species. What do you think? This is another footage of a YouTuber who ventured into an abandoned church to check it out. If you're regular on this channel, then you know things didn't go exactly as planned. Instead of a supernatural encounter, he stumbled on something quite disturbing. Tombs, tempered tombs. The curious YouTuber got a closer look at the tombs, and in the broken coffins were the remains of the deceased on display. This is usually the work of tomb raiders who open tombs to steal jewelry and anything of value in them. Creepy, I know. Although this is not as scary as the previous footage, it's still very creepy with all those bones lying there exposed. Don't you think so? Notice that many places considered haunted are in remote areas of town. Well, this next footage follows a similar trajectory, which might prove that there's indeed a correlation. During the early hours of the night, a man known for his curiosity stumbles upon a location not recommended for a visit, a place known as Dead Doll Lane. If the name doesn't already give it away, the vicinity is filled with numerous dolls, some hanging, others dismantled or even destroyed. A few are caught in the fences along the road. Unfazed by his findings, he continues his investigations. Myths surrounding these dolls suggested they house evil spirits or perhaps even demons. But let's ponder, are these locations truly overtaken by so-called evil spirits and demons, or could they be regular spirits clinging to the perceived homes and attaching themselves to the new occupants of the property? Whatever your answer, there are individuals who've assumed the role of blinding these spirits to dolls like those featured in the footage. A few of these bound spirits become problematic and are consequently banished to the lane you see. What do you think, though? Are there merits to these myths, or are they simply old wives' tales being passed on from one generation to the other? Share your thoughts or experiences, if any, with us. Our next footage will probably rank up as one of the most puzzling in today's episode. In the footage, we see a creature move out of frame as quickly as it moved into it. Confused? Have a look. You saw it, didn't you? As though that wasn't fast enough, the creature does appear to be moving on its knuckles like a gorilla would and has fur to match the description. But that's just the thing. There are no gorillas in the woods where this footage was captured. We're tempted to think it was a Bigfoot, but Bigfoot doesn't move on all fours, which leaves us puzzled. Could this be an otherworldly creature? Could it be some sort of hunchback creature with overgrown fur, or is it simply a Bigfoot exhibiting unusual behavior? We can't seem to conclude which possibility it is. So what do you think? Now, let's dive into the capture of another cryptid taking in a populated town known for its occasional unexplained disappearances. As you can see from the image on your screen, this cryptid has a very intimidating look with a body reminiscent of that of a human and a head and face reminiscent of a canine. I mean, look at its snout and ears sticking right up on top of its head. Unlike Bigfoot, this particular cryptid is known to be deadly and, quite frankly, scary looking. Despite being more dangerous, it shares some similarities with other cryptids, like having a more human-like body with a human-like gait. They also look like werewolves, but a little smaller and less hairy. Moreover, they are known for their carnivorous nature, feeding on the flesh and meat of other animals. Last time I checked, humans are fleshy and are made up of meat, making us prime food candidates known for these two-legged creatures. Knowing that this image was captured close to a populated town where people have been going missing makes me feel we already know who the culprit is. Have you heard stories about these creatures? Have you encountered any? Do you believe they are real or just made up? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Next, we have a video clip that reveals the remains of a dinosaur, specifically a T-Rex in the heart of the woods. The uploader had the paranormal and dinosaur enthusiasts community believing that he had indeed filmed a T-Rex. As you'd expect with such a revelation, it was met with debates as well as a lot of skepticism. But could he be telling the truth? Well, if any living dinosaurs indeed remained from the tumultuous events millennia ago, this capture might just be the evidence many needed. I mean, if you take a closer look, you'd see flesh, meaning it's a fresh kill. As the debates raged on, the uploader had an epiphany and came online to clarify all misconceptions. In fact, he revealed the footage originated from a German museum theme park. The park had fashioned a replica of a deceased T-Rex, simulating its appearance after gradual decomposition and becoming part of the earth. It was meant to be an educational tool, but the uploader saw an opportunity to get rich and famous. Unfortunately for him, he was called out and came out to apologize to the community and all who believed it. But do you think he should be let off on such an easy note? Talking of something sinister, this structure was found in the woods. Its architecture is undeniably strange. The structure consists of numerous tree branches intricately intertwined, and there's an opening that resembles a doorway leading into the structure. I'm not sure what led this individual to venture into the woods at night, but this just screams monster's lair to me, and the presence of this person feels more like an intrusion than an adventure. Looking at the structure, you can tell that this is not man-made because the broken branches around the structure look like they were snapped out of place, while humans would have used equipment to clean-cut them. If it's not human, then whatever built this must be pretty intelligent. At first, I thought it could be a hunter's blind, but there's no way human arms could snap those trees off the ground. Could this be the work of Bigfoot? Could the whole structure be a Bigfoot lair or another undiscovered and much bigger creature? You tell me. In the animal kingdom, there are times when the male animals are prettier and more exotic looking than the females. Take the lion and his glorious mane as an example. There's no denying that he looks majestic. There are other species where the male animals have a sing and dance or show off their beautiful fur or feathers to attract females. This naturally requires them to have more distinctive and beautiful features, which can sometimes take the form of vibrant colors, intricate patterns, or elaborate adornments compared to females. We have seen this and we understand it, but what we haven't seen before and are yet to understand is what we see in this footage. This buck was spotted with a black wig on its head, proudly bouncing about to show off. It appears to have a fashion sense that's foreign to the animal kingdom. It's giving us Elvis vibes, and we won't be surprised if it's gaining a lot of attention. While it's true that females often seek out the most popular and potentially wealthiest mate, it's uncertain if this buck will experience the same fate. We all know how the ladies can't resist the popular guy in town with his edgy style. I have a feeling this mating season will be quite the spectacle for Bambi. It's impossible to see what works in the darkness without any light, but it'll surprise you what a Trailcam can capture in the darkness of the nights, even if it's another worldly being or a creature. In the footage, we see a dark being stealthily moving between the dark trees. Comparing its height to that of trees, I may as well conclude that the footage is proving that Bigfoot truly does exist. From the hairy body to it lurking in a remote woodland area with a height equivalent to the trees, ask me what creature that is, and the answer is simple. It's a Bigfoot, possibly on the hunt for dinner. What do you think, though? Do you like spiders? If you answered no to this question, then this next post might just scare you out of your wits. This footage was taken by a man who'd gone to the woods to enjoy the scenery. He decided to film the whole process because, well, why not? What he didn't expect, however, was to see a strange tree looking gray from a distance. Intrigued, he drew nearer to find out what was keeping this odd-looking tree gray, and what he saw left him speechless. I mean, how do you explain the sight you're seeing? A tree covered in cobwebs? Surely there must be a logical explanation for it, and truly there is. I've shared it on this channel before. Who can remember it? If you do remember the explanation I gave, leave a comment and start with "I remember" in cap lock so we can give you a befitting acknowledgement. If you haven't seen the video before, this might be the best time to revisit our previous videos because we've really got a special surprise for whoever remembers this. This footage was recorded with the camera focused on the rear-view mirror of a car that was being driven on a deserted road that was sandwiched by woodland. While driving, the driver spared a glance at the monitor in the car and everything seemed normal at first, but in a few moments, something strange began to move from a distance. As the thing got closer, it started to take form. It bore an uncanny resemblance to a cryptid. Two flailing arms came into view as the creature, now sprinting toward the car, became more discernible. This frightened the driver, who sped out of the place without turning to look back. What do you think that was? A weird person running out of the forest? A Bigfoot? Or something far more sinister? Share your thoughts with us. My eyes might be deceiving me, but is that a moose with 8 legs? Somebody hold me before I pass out. That's what the person who saw this footage may have thought, and quite frankly, I can't blame him or her. It would have been a freaky sight to behold. Zooming into the footage, however, we can see that these are just 2 moose walking side by side and extremely close to each other, creating an illusion of an entirely different creature. But if there was really a moose with 8 legs, what if it were really real? Could you imagine it? A spider the size of a moose. Phew! Thankfully, it's just an illusion. Odd-looking picture of a creature that appears to stand at least 7 to 8 feet tall. It has arms and legs like a human does, but is covered in fur like you'd expect from an ape. As much as we would love to see what its face looks like, it's obscured due to the blurry nature of the image. Any student of the paranormal should know that's a Bigfoot, but there's a story behind the image. The Trailcam was set up by a group of young boys in the vicinity because a couple of them had mysteriously disappeared in that forest without any explanation. Driven by suspicions of a lurking ghost or an enigmatic creature, they set up the Trailcam, hoping to unveil its secrets. Although it didn't occur immediately, their patience paid off a couple of weeks later when the camera captured this astonishing image of Bigfoot. Could the Bigfoot have hurt those who went missing? If it did, why did it do so? No one knows if these creatures are man-killers or friendly, because most encounters with them that are on record never involve any form of interaction with them. They're known to inhabit forests and mountainous areas. They're mostly shy and would typically opt to hide wherever there's a human in sight. This makes it difficult to believe that they could hurt people. The evidence does not lie, though. Could this be the function of a rogue Bigfoot, or is there another paranormal creature in that forest capturing and hurting people? It's hard to tell, but what do you think? For our final footage of this episode, let's take a look at footage that is both alarming and also capable of keeping you up at night. If you're jumpy, this is going to be a roller coaster ride for you. This YouTuber visited an abandoned bunker he'd been to before on 2 occasions, but never had a strange encounter. However, this third time did it for him. Like they say, the third time is a charm. As he was inspecting the empty bunker, you see a piece of wood lift and fall, sending a chilling sound echoing through the bunker. The once confident adventurer almost abandoned his seeing as he bolted straight out of the entrance. After he calmed down from the scare, he went back to look further, but this time he didn't notice the next encounter until he was reviewing the footage. There, in the eerie hallway, a dark figure pops up and disappears again. This guy was the only one present, so what was that? A ghost or evil spirit? You tell us. While it's common to witness animals perching on trees as if it were an everyday marketplace affair, I'm still utterly flabbergasted. It's the second time I've been proven wrong. Goats are exceptional climbers too. The location of this video clip remains unknown, yet it's clear the camera was strategically positioned to capture this astounding sight. White goats scaling an impressively tall palm tree. That alone doesn't suffice. It raises questions about whether these goats are specifically trained or controlled to perform this feat. Could the recorder have inadvertently placed the camera upside down? Well, forgive me for sounding skeptical, but the palm tree stands upright except for the apparent slant or curvy posture to it. Did I just describe a tree as being curvy? Oh, forgive me, but you get the idea, don't you? Either way, coming back to the video, if you know anything about goats, it's that they love to climb. I know that. All the members of the team know that. But it's simply hard to believe climbing palm trees was simply a part of their resume. Wild. Anyone who's watched cartoons knows it's common knowledge for turtles and tortoises to come out of their shells whenever they feel like it. Is that the case in real life, though? It turns out turtles are their shells. It's an integral part of their body. Their shells are connected to their bones, fused with their ribs and spine, forming a protective, permanent part of their skeleton. The notion of a turtle simply stepping out of its shell is purely a cartoon fantasy. This fusion means that the shell grows with the turtle, acting like armor that they can never leave behind. Imagine wearing a suit of armor that grows with you from the moment you're born. It's truly amazing, isn't it? The shell is not just a hard covering, it's a living part of the turtle. It consists of 2 parts, the carapace on the back and the plastron on the belly, connected by a bony bridge. This complex structure serves to protect the turtle from predators and environmental hazards, making it one of nature's most well-defended creatures. But their shell isn't just about protection, it also serves other important functions. For example, some turtles can absorb oxygen through the skin of their shells, which helps them stay underwater for extended periods. Additionally, the shell aids in buoyancy, allowing turtles to float and swim efficiently. So next time you see a turtle, remember not to try prying its shell off. It's a vital part of them. And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, with our clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.